already come forward a little bit.
It's going to close that.
Oh, close it off. It's all good.
There's a show, is it?
Yeah. Ooh. Alrighty. How we doing, everybody? Big game today, Geelong versus Melbourne. Got my brother here tonight. First time that you've been on a stream, haven't you?
Yeah, it's looking forward to it. Looks like recently they've played some really close games, so really looking forward to this one.
Especially down at GMHBA Stadium. So,
yeah.
Who have you tipped tonight?
I've went Melbourne. You went Melbourne as well?
Yeah, I think we both went Melbourne.
Yeah. So
big game tonight between both these clubs. Game's actually about to start, so as it happens, we'll be calling the game. Subs tonight are Jack Bowes for Geelong, and Melbourne have Charlie Spargo. It's in the middle of the ground now. And the ball is bounced for the start of round 15. Gawn takes it out of the ruck, gets a kick away. Ill-directed though, goes out the back. Langdon gives it off to Gawn. He does fumble it though. And now Geelong need to play well tonight, keep themselves in touch with the 8. O'Connor over the top to Close. Now they get it out wide through Atkins. Now Holmes has some space a little bit. And then wheels around on the right boot, drives it inside the forward 50. Gets spoiled away. Good tackle from Gawn on Blitzars, and he's been holding the ball. Quick call from the umpire. Jesus.
Yeah. Maybe that's the thing we're going to see this weekend.
Yeah, maybe. Langdon gets it out wide at half back. He drives a long ball towards the wing. Smith did well to cause a contest. On the ground, those Myers. Now to Atkins. Atkins, small little kick. Don't think I was 15. Close. Little handball. Wasn't the best. Blitzars did well though. De Koning dragged down from behind the umpire again.
Another quick call.
Quick to call on the ball. Within 50 seconds, we've seen 2 on the ball calls called rapidly. Caused a turnover here. Melbourne snaps around the body. Think it's Hawkins towards goal. The first goal just goes through further behind. We're in the retro Guernsey tonight. The Geelong Cats. Don't know why, but we'll. Do you know why?
No, I haven't seen that yet. There's an explanation.
So one big out for both sides. Clayton Oliver's still out for Melbourne, and Paddy Dangerfield was out tonight as well. Interesting to see how both midfields will go without their key players. Blitzars causes an intercept mark, goes inside the pocket, great kick, and finds Tyson Stengel.
Yeah, it's a big night for the interceptors, Geelong. As we know that Tom Stewart didn't get one single intercept mark last week, so he needs to respond. And
only had 5 intercept touches last week too. So tough kick here for Stengel, but obviously all Australian last year in the forward pocket.
Yeah, he needs to find that form.
Up that, especially if Geelong are going to push for the finals. Looks like he's setting up for the check side from the pocket here. Stengel comes in, kicks towards goal. Looks pretty nice. The crowd goes up, and he's got it. What a start for Thursday night football for Geelong. They start off very nicely. Stengel with the first.
Yeah, it's a lovely kick, and Melbourne's defence haven't really started well, I don't think.
Yeah. We'll have to see how this game goes on. Melbourne, obviously, last game they played just before the bye was against Collingwood.
Yeah.
They played really well. They're coming off the bye, though, so...
Yeah.
They're the fresher team, but we saw Geelong last week. Had a really good start against Port Adelaide and then just fell away in the second half.
Yeah, well, only one team has won off the bye so far this season. And
it was St Kilda.
That was St Kilda, so it was against Sydney, who was also off the bye, so...
We'll see this tonight. Do it easy there. The intercept wasn't a good kick out towards the wing, and easy intercept and a good finish from Stengel in the pocket.
Yeah, he needs to find that form that he did last season.
Yeah.
So
back in the middle. Bounce goes down. Favours Gawn, gets the tap down to Vine. He was brilliant in his last match. Gets out to Petraku, drives the ball towards forward 50. Great mark taken by Jordan. About 55, 60 out from goal. Doesn't have too many options. I think he has Pickett in the left forward pocket. Looks like he's going to go more direct. Towards the top of the goal square. Kolajassi gets in front. Should have marked it. Hit it straight down to Joel Smith, who snaps towards goal. And he's hit the post.
That's a bad miss. Like, you should be nailing that. I know he's a defender, but
he's
playing forward now, so that's the one you should be putting in the book.
He took it too quickly. He had so much more time.
Like, all of them fell down. He had all the time in the world.
I think Colin Jasny should have just marked it. I don't
Yeah.
know what he was thinking. Oh, 50 metres. So umpire went to call. He said move it on to the player and Pickett moved. So that gave away the 50 metres. So Zach Tui gets relief here. God, that's a big 50. Jesus Christ.
That's a huge 50.
So he drives it long towards half forward. Langdon going back with the flight. Good pressure there from Stengel. Langdon did well. Breaks past Blitzars. Handball was really poor to Jordan. Had to make him jump for it. O'Connor did nicely. Stengels didn't get tackled until late. And Salem drags him down. Another holding the ball decision. We're already seeing 3 tonight.
That was definitely... That was
probably
been there. So
well, I think they've all been there, yeah. But we just haven't seen the consistency this year. So Melbourne work it down on the outer wing. Not the best kick. They mucked it up again here, Rivers. Free kick's been pulled out. It will go to Geelong for free kick against Neil Bullen for a throw. Well, very sloppy early, Melbourne.
Yeah, it's
very sloppy from so far.
sluggish after the bye, it seems.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Reversal. Wait, reversal Geelong?
Yeah, so it's
So it's going to come back to Melbourne on the wing to give it away from Jeremy Cameron.
Oh,
for
really?
that? That is piss weak.
That's really bad.
That's a shocking decision. Fuck me.
The
amount of times that would happen. He didn't even slap him. He just accidentally hit him in the neck, and he gave away a free kick. Nonetheless, he goes long. Van Rooyen from 3 deep couldn't bring it down. Atkins couldn't get up. Sparrow handballs out the back, turned it over, and now cleared from Holmes. Long towards the wing. Lever will take the intercept mark. He just goes in short. Finds Langdon. Always patrolling that wing for the Demons. He kicks a short ball.
Yeah, you want to bring it inside here. At GMHBA,
Yeah, you don't want to get caught out on the wings.
Yeah,
here.
especially at GMHBA.
So now Viney drives it inside the forward 50. Gorn caught behind. Did well to cause a contest. Petrarch out to Sparrow. Just puts a high ball to about 30 metres out. Running back with the flight is Fritsch. Didn't run it though.
That's really poor by Fritsch, really.
Yeah, he didn't put any sort of contest to it. Henry takes the intercept. Geelong looking to move this ball quickly now. So Isaac Smith goes for the short ball. That went about 10 metres. Maybe. Probably been a bit generous on that decision. But anyway. Now Buse drives a long ball towards half forward. 2-on-1 for Rowan. Great mark. Wasn't paid. Oh, that's a bit rough.
Jesus.
Jeez, 9 times out of 10 that would have been paid. A bit tough against Gary Rowan. He did really well here against Hibberd. Knocked him out of the way. That's
nearly a free, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's
for
a chop
chopping
the arms.
arms.
Either or. It's a bit rough on him.
That was a tough call on him early. Jeez. So Grundy's taking his first front contest for the evening. Taps it down. Coming through was Holmes. Almost dove on that. He could be in a bit of trouble here, Max Holmes. Umpire circles and eventually pulls up. In fact, it was Tanner Bruin who was in that contest. So umpire throws it up once again. Grundy almost was held. Spun out nicely there. Gave it out the back to Hunter. Puts it on the boot towards the wing. Not the best kick. And Tom Stewart takes it to intercept mark.
First in 2 weeks.
So big for him tonight. He goes towards the forward 50. Oh, on his own there was Blitzars. Almost got a high one, not paid. May tackles Blitzars well. It spills out towards Stanley. Couldn't gather it. Salem tackled well by Isaac Smith. And just outside 50-yard Geelong.
Oh, that's a good hit.
No, that's a good spoil, actually. Yeah, that was definitely not a free kick. Met it hard there, Stephen May. So a little tap down there from Grundy. Spills out to Salem. Sends a high ball towards the broadcast wing. He'll just bounce towards the boundary line. DeConey gets there first. Had a little bit of time. Goes inboard. A little bit dangerous, but eventually works out. So Geelong on true centre wing right now. Only 5 minutes into this game. Geelong have started well, but Melbourne have definitely brought back the last few minutes. Dangerous kick. Colin Jasny. Oh, they paid that one. Oh, it was front on contact. So, okay, so it was a free kick to Colin Jasny in the middle of the ground. Got very lucky there. That kick was very dangerous. So now Colin Jasny drives it towards the forward 50. Gets out the back. No one gets really hands to it at all. It spills out to Hawkins. Has a bit of space. Works it into the pocket. Great kick. And he finds Zach Tui about 40 metres out. Probably just tough of 45-degree angle. A chance here for Geelong to get the perfect start on Thursday night footy. Last week also started very nicely against Port Adelaide, but did fade late. It did fade in the second half, really. So Geelong really have to continue the form that they started in that first half, go through tonight. And if they're going to, they have to start well and finish well as well. They can't just peter off like they did last week. So Zach Tui, been pretty good this year for the Cats. He comes in now, runs in from 50, drives it towards goal. He's hooked it a little. Won't make the distance on the line all by himself was Grundy.
Like, where's Stanley? Where's your blitzers? Like, you got to have them right on the line.
Where's Tom Hawkins? Where's Jeremy Cameron? None of them were there. That was really poor from Geelong. Nonetheless, May drives it towards the wing. Guthrie couldn't mark it, and De Koning sees it out of bounds. So a good start for Geelong, I'd say, early. Melbourne looked a little bit sluggish. Can't really transfer the football. And the one time they did get it forward, immediately let it out with a poor 50-metre penalty given away from Keziah Pickett. So back in the ruck, Blitzars takes the front spot. Grundy gets it down though. Players go for it, can't gather it. Little tap out there from Viney, goes as far as Bruin. Drives towards the top of the goal square. It's going to a matter! Tanner Bruin kicks the goal. Geelong have got 2. That was not meant to be. Don't think he meant that one bit, Tanner Bruin, but it's gone through for the Cats. Great start for them.
Yeah, good start by Geelong. They're dominating the midfield, and Melbourne's defence just isn't holding up at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, they've had all the pressure on them so far. Yeah. They've hardly got it forward, and their midfield looks shot so far, Melbourne. They haven't hardly touched it in there. Very slow start for Melbourne. I mean, I guess that's kind of fair. We've seen teams start off after the bye look a little bit sluggish at times, and yeah, that was a bit poor, though. I mean, all players couldn't gather it. Viney just tapped it into space, and all on the outside was in the centre of the stoppage, towards the centre of the ground. Just all Geelong.
Yeah.
And Tanner Bruin just drove it forward, probably just trying to get some meterage, but got lucky with the bounce, and Geelong will take a 2-goal start any day. So back in the middle now, Melbourne need a lift. Tapped away there from Blitzars, goes to Bruin. He started nicely. Just wheels around, drives it on the right boot towards half forward. Great, nearly marked it there was Jeremy, I think it was Jeremy Cameron. Couldn't gather it though. They work it out back, McVee back to Hunter. He gets the ball on the wing, dribbles it underground. Don't know about that option. Will work though. Gets about 30 metres on the play and ends out of bounds on centre wing.
It's nearly a hold of the arm.
Yeah, I think it's a hold of the arm. Oh, it's Isaac Smith. Yeah, that's a hold of the arm. Jesus.
Very unlucky there.
So Clayton Oliver in the coach's box tonight. In the ruck, neither could get to it. Blitzars taps it through though. Immediately met Bruin by Sparrow. It'll be another stoppage. How you doing, NBA fanatic? What are you up to tonight? So Jed Buse just getting his knee attended to at the moment. Knocked it down was Grundy. Sparrow couldn't gather it. Close gets in there. Brayshaw little underhand handball. They did well there, Melbourne. Petrarca to Sparrow. He drives it towards forward 50. Great mark from Zach Guthrie.
Yeah.
He's been pretty good this year.
Yeah, he has been, yeah.
He took a very long time to come along, but
yeah.
Good mark there. That's all good, NBA fanatic. You watching the game tonight? So now Stewart drives it down the wing. That's a shocking kick. Turned it straight back over to Langdon. But Melbourne have no one to go to. This has been their problem a lot of the year, their forward line structure. He drives it towards the top of the 50. Dangerous kick. Van Rooyen spoils it away. Bruin gathers it. Works it back. Isaac Smith lands on the ground. Now Hunter over to Keziah Pickett.
Pickett's got to do better than this. Pickett's got to do really...
Wasn't a really good handball though, to be honest. Coming from behind was Fritsch on Henry. Just got the kick away. Got very lucky with that one. And now Geelong can go. Smith in the middle of the ground. Drives a long ball now to a 2-on-1. Gary Rowan just hit buddy. I think it was... Was that Hawkins or Cameron in the face?
He's knocked out.
Oh, they're going to get a goal there, Geelong. It rolls towards goal and just goes through for a point.
He's been knocked out.
Who's been knocked... Who was that? It's Jeremy Cameron here. He's out like a light.
He was out before he hit the floor.
Yeah, that's devastating for Geelong. Gary Rowan came through and just hit him in the shoulder. I mean, to be honest, that'd probably be a week or two if it was an opponent.
Yeah.
Not that he meant it by any means, obviously not, but he hasn't even got up yet, Jeremy Cameron. Oh, shit, I put the point on the board. Yeah, so Jeremy Cameron currently just inside the centre square. Being attended to by trainers, he'll be out for the rest of the game. Just got to, as he's gone for the mark, Gary Rowan came through, put in a little bit of support for Jeremy Cameron, but just collected him with the point of the shoulder, and he's out. He's not. They've immediately got Jack Bowes getting warm up on the boundary line, and Jeremy Cameron definitely looks out. This is big for Geelong. Do I lock the NBA? I don't really watch it as much as I used to. I did watch it a little bit. You go for the Cavaliers. Do you still do that?
No.
Only when LeBron.
Yeah, only when LeBron was there.
Yeah, he was out cold. We called it. Basically, you called it as soon as it happened. Well, Gary Rowan looks distraught as well, though.
Yeah, a lot of
that would be very interesting how he plays the rest of the night too, because he looks out of it.
Yeah, hit the pointer of his shoulder.
Yeah, completely an accident, obviously, but yeah, just...
Yeah, you see Tom Stewart going to him.
Yeah, Gary Ronalds does not look good. He looks distraught, really. I mean, obviously, one of your best mates accidentally knocking him out. You don't want to do that. Accidents happen on the footy field, but geez, that was fucking unlucky. While we're waiting, we'll just quickly check the stats. So at the moment, right now, we have leading disposal road getter on the ground, Ed Langdon. Then Ed Langdon with the 5. Then we got 4 disposals to Isaac Smith, Lockie Hunter, Max Holmes, and Tanner Bruin, who also got the goal so far in this one. And Tanner Bruin leads all comers on the AFL fantasy front with 20.
Yeah,
this is big for Geelong because their forward structure now. Now it means that either Lever or May will be able to play off of their opponent because they won't have to stay on someone as dangerous as Jeremy Cameron.
Yeah, so it's going to be interesting what this turns out to be because, like...
I think Geelong... Who did Geelong have next week? I think they have the Swans.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they got the Swans. So that's going to be an interesting one because he's definitely not going to play, obviously, with this...
the HIA. He has to take a 12-day break. So he misses next week.
The Swans got a few players back this week, so that...
Becomes a big game for him.
Yeah.
And they got the North Melbourne week after. So, very interesting here. They'll have to be very careful to take him off the ground. They'll take their time, so... He was out. That was...
Yeah, he was out before he hit the floor. Yeah, they're dominating in every position at the moment. The Cats, it's really in the midfield. Really, like you look at it. Since Brody Grundy did get into in the ruck, he's been dominating, but the midfielders aren't helping him out. So
yeah,
we're still waiting.
Yeah, they're still taking him off the ground at the moment. So this will take some time. Oh, was it that bad? Is it that bad? They're not even going to show him on the boundary. Yeah, this is taking a long time. But there must be something a little bit more to this than just a...
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say a simple head knock, but... They haven't even moved him yet, so... So players are starting to move back into position now, it seems. Well, the Geelong players are anyway.
Yeah, Gary Rowan looks shocked.
Yeah. They're just getting him on near the cart now, so... Players are starting to move back into their positions. Eventually, they'll get him back. That was a hard hit. So what happened is, Jamo, Jeremy Cameron and his opponent were coming up to the ball as a kick was coming towards forward 50. And Gary Rowan came across to basically support Jeremy Cameron, also trying to maybe take the mark. And as it happened, both these players came in, like Jeremy Cameron or whatever, and Gary Rowan just had his shoulder pointer connect to Jeremy Cameron's head and knocked him out clean. He hit the ground really quick. Like, he hit the ground. He was out when he got hit. Yeah. So hopefully he's all okay. It took a very long time to even get him off the ground. Like, off onto the actual stretcher before they put him on like a little cart. So...
Yeah.
Like Jeremy Cameron hope he's okay, yeah. think that's everyone's sentiment at the moment. They're just getting him off. They just put him on the cart now, so... If you're watching the AFL, if you're watching the game now, just take a look at this as a replay.
Yeah.
Oh,
and then he hit it, yeah.
And then he hit his head on the ground too. That would have hurt. Yeah, it was right on the shoulder point. It hit him like directly in the, like right in the side towards the jaw. So, wouldn't be surprised if he even has a broken jaw as well. I'm sure they wouldn't go to us first, Haim, but let's be honest. They're very concerned. Well, as Isaac Smith is laughing.
Yeah, they still haven't moved the car yet.
Now
they're just about. Yeah, they're just moving it now.
So it looks like he's maybe came to it a little bit now. Yeah, he's got his hands up now, so he's okay, it seems. Did you see the Giants there playing West Coast this week? Don't you mean Sydney are playing them this week? So Jeremy Cameron will obviously be out for the game. Jack Bowes will soonly be subbed back in. So Michael Hibberd has the ball in the defensive goal square with the point that was scored off that play. So back to the game. He drives a long ball down the wing. Coming across there was Petty, couldn't gather it. Now Neil Bullen works it out the back, does well to Petrarca. He drives the ball towards the wing, immediately cut it off. So now Blitzars goes inside to Rowan.
I think it's good that he gets the ball early. He just needs to get back into the game and then carry on.
Yeah, just needs to get his mind back into the game because that was a big hit. Yeah, they have the bye this week, the Giants. So now Myers drives the ball inside the forward 50, but Grundy cuts it off. Great mark.
Yeah, he started well, Grundy. Maybe one of the only players for Melbourne who started well.
Yeah, Petrarca's hardly seen it. I guess Langdon's done okay.
Yeah.
So he just kicks the ball across the 50. So now Petty has the football at half back. Probably was one of the reasons why they brought him. Well, one of the quick reasons why they wanted to bring him back to bring him in the back half was Jeremy Cameron, and now he's kind of without a spot. Drives the ball down the wing. Great kick and great mark coming across was Joel Smith. Gives it off to Salem, riding shotgun. He gathers the ball and drives it towards the wing. Van Rooyen got up, probably got a high one. He does. Free kick. On the wing is Van Rooyen. He gives it back to Salem, who kept going. Takes a couple of big steps and drives the ball forward to a one-on-one. Kolajasic just sported away again. He's done that a couple of times. Holmes immediately met by Pickett, and it'll be a stoppage 40 metres out from the Melbourne goal.
Well, we can see why they've only kicked 1 point to the start of this game, Melbourne. Like, they can't move the ball. And once they do, they're just not none of them are going up for the contest.
Yeah, other than Van Rooyen, everyone else is not anywhere near it.
Yeah.
So Neil Bullen gives it off to Sparrow. Chance here for the Demons. Smothered well there from, I think it was Guthrie. It's not touched, so Joel Smith won't be paid the marks. He just drops it on the ground. Got a little bit lucky there. Tui has some time, not much time. Geez. Langdon almost dragged him down. The kick goes across goal. Jordan probably could have got a free kick for that. Holmes got pressured out of it. Does well there, Rivers. Petrarca blocked well there from Atkins. The handball was ill-directed though. Blitzars gathers the smothered handball and then drives a high ball towards the wing. Goes out of bounds on the full. The Jack Bowes has been subbed in now. Not really surprised. Basically a minute after that incident happened. That was always going to happen. It's going to be big for Geelong. See how their structure will change in this one. So Rivers now drives the ball back inside the forward 50 to a 3-on-3 it seems. Fritsch in front gets the hands up. Probably should have marked it in the end if you
Yeah, I think you should have give the room to Grundy to do it.
Yeah,
he was right there.
Oh. Kicked away there from Holmes, but now Salem gathers the ball. Kicks it towards the forward pocket. It fades in nicely and Bailey Fritsch takes the mark. Well, it wasn't pretty, but Bailey Fritsch has taken the mark. And a chance here for Melbourne, despite their pretty poor start, to get to within 7 points.
Maybe that's just what Melbourne need. They just need to get some way to get a goal, get a shot.
He got a bit lucky there. Yeah. I think he got a bit lucky that the ball just dropped in his hands, really, because two Geelong defenders probably should have done better there. So Bailey Fritsch, usually pretty reliable with the set shot. 17 goals, 9 this season from the set shot. He comes in, kicks the goal, and Melbourne finally get there first. Great finish from Bailey Fritsch. 2 goals, 2-14 to 1 goal, 1-7. Well, that's what they needed because Geelong started this game very well. It will be interesting to see how Geelong even respond as a team because obviously Jeremy Cameron's a big figure at the team and the club. We've seen, Max Gawn? Obviously, everyone thought it was a very serious injury when he got injured way back in round 2 against Brisbane.
Yeah.
And Melbourne played one of their worst games of the season. They didn't look like they had their head in the game. So we'll see how Geelong go, especially in probably the first half, really, before they get some news about it.
Yeah, it will be interesting. You'd hope that they'd get to the players and.
Yeah. So back in the middle, Gawn gets a little tap out the back. Coming through was Petrarca, left it behind. Bowes got the handball smothered. But now Blissards to Atkins. Drives the ball back inside the forward 50 to a one-on-one. Out the back, it's Hawkins. Oh. Probably should have marked it in the end. Then dropped it, got tackled well from May. It spills out to Close. He gives it out to Isaac Smith. Usually pretty good quality, this man. But he misses it out to the left-hand side.
Yeah, disappointing there.
Really
Hawkins should have marked it. Yeah. He did all the body work, Hawkins, and normally
just left the ball behind.
Yeah.
And then Isaac Smith should have really done better there too. Again, just had a little bit more time than he thought.
Yeah.
So now May goes in short into the pocket and finds Hibbard. They're just working on this broadcast swing quite a lot, Melbourne. Goes long to Gawn in the 2-on-1. Spoiled away there from it was Guthrie. Melbourne did well to surge this ball forward. Stewart just threw himself in there. Joel Smith dove on that, but it spills out now to Stewart. He's driving himself forward, got the ball to boot. Just kicks it towards half forward. Great mark from Hibbard. Intercept mark was very nicely done. Player, maybe...
Viney's down.
I think Jack Viney may have been... I think he got hit in the nuts. I'm not going to do that. Just a scientific opinion there. Free kick's being pulled out to Jack Henry. No, it's a shoulder. Oh, that's a dislocated shoulder. Yeah. So Jack Viney's now down. It looks like it could be a dislocated shoulder here. Injuries all the way through. So...
Yeah, it was with Stewart driving himself through.
Yeah, so it was Stewart driving himself through, trying to get out of the tackle, and yeah, that's his shot. Oh, don't land on it, bro! What are you doing? Yeah, I think that's the shoulder, isn't it?
Yeah, if you look at it, it hits the other shoulder.
It's the other shoulder. Yeah. So I don't know what's happened here. But he was drove into his left shoulder, but the right one's the one that's not moved.
Yeah,
he's struggling with. So the kick down the wing here from, I think it was Jack Henry, goes straight out on the floor. That was a poor kick.
And you watch, because Stewart bumped him, hit him after the play, he'll get a fine for that.
Probably. Yeah. Kick from Petrarca was poor to Sailor, and then Petrarca does another poor kick. That's a very poor couple of disposals. Holmes gets it out to Close. Mel does well here, Geelong. Stengel at 50. Drives it to the top of the goal square in the 1-on-1. Gets the hands up. Was Ollie Henry, didn't mark it. Now on the ground was Langdon. Langdon's kick away was a very poor option. Probably only went, I think that would have went 13 metres. I don't think that was 15, but Zach Tui a chance here to kick his first. Already had one chance tonight.
Just really poor disposal efficiency by Melbourne.
Coming out of half back. Petrarca, just one kick to Sailor, misses him completely. Gets the ball back, then dribbles another one down the wing. And then Ed Langdon has a chance to clear it. Kicks it short and just turns it straight over to Zach Tui. To settle the nerves a little bit here for Geelong. About 45 degree angle here for Zach Tui. Probably kick it on the point of 50. He comes in now. Kicks towards goal. Hooked it again. And it's through for another behind. So Geelong missing a couple of early chances in this one.
Yeah. Oh, right.
Great mark from Gary Rowan coming across. Well, he's had a few touches to get himself back, get his mindset back into the game. Probably the best thing he can do at the moment. Switches the play, goes out wide to Zach Guthrie. He goes even wider to Bruin. He started nicely. So Bruin about 70 out from goal. Melbourne have just flooded all their numbers back. I think only 2 are not inside that defensive 50, and the kick coming in was pretty poor. Rivers cuts it off. Hasn't been the best game of footy so far, I'm not going to lie. I don't think Geelong would mind, though. I think Melbourne would be a little bit more concerned. Well done from Van Rooyen to cause the pressure. Neil Bullen off to Joel Smith. He's got the whole wing to work with on his own, but doesn't have many options inside. He goes in with the kick towards the top of the 50. Jordan did very nicely, but immediately met by Bowes. Should have been gone there. That must have been a throw. Play on. Now works it out wide there. I think it was Bruin back inside the defensive 50. Now Holmes, last line of defence, is getting pressured up by Pickett. Gets the kick towards the wing. Up goes Ollie Henry. Couldn't mark it. On the ground, though, he's dragged that in. He could be in a bit of trouble here, Ollie Henry. Umpire circles, and it'll be a ball up. Just 5.5 minutes to go in the first term. Geelong up by 9 points. If you just met us now, Jeremy Cameron has been subbed out with concussion. So back in the play, Gawn gets a little tap out towards the boundary line. Hunter handballs it back, did nicely in the end to Salem. Tried to set back on his left. Great pressure from Bowes. Great footy knowledge from Bowes too. Didn't let him turn on his left boot. And of course the Geelong fans are cool for holding the ball. Obviously, if he was in bounds, he would have been, but taken out as it was played.
Yeah.
Umpire throws it in. Blizzards tries to get a tap forward, couldn't do so. Gordon does well on the ground. Brayshaw gets the handball out the back. Sparrow sends a nice little handball to Petrarca, and he kicks a short ball inside the forward 50, just out of the reach of Grundy. Now Stewart has some time, just sends another high ball towards the wing, makes them go for it, and close, almost took it in by himself.
There's just no method to Melbourne's efficiency going forward. There's just...
No, it's just bomb it in and hope for the best. I mean, that's the only way they got their goals so far, was just bomb it in the fridge.
It's just, they don't have the tall players to do that.
Yeah. So it looks like it was a stinger to Jack Viney, so he may be right to come back on very soon. Hunter almost threw that away. Brayshaw can't get out. Does nicely with Myers. Very clean. Working in the phone box. Goes towards the forward 50. Lever left it behind. He's going to be caught up in trouble here. Immediately met there by Gary Rowan. Brings him down and another ball up. Just at the top of the 50 here for Geelong. Jake Lever, I think, did pretty well there. Probably should have marked it, but at least he just didn't let the ball get out in space there. I think Geelong were away if that happened. So another ball up, top of the 50. Little tap out there was from Stanley. Now Holmes dragged down. Almost should have been pinned for it. Lever works it out towards Hunter. He kicks it down the wing. It's a pretty good kick. Frans van Rooyen. First time he's been seen really tonight with the football. So he plays on now. Kicks towards the forward 50. Up from behind to Koning.
Good mark.
That's his natural position. No more playing in the ruck for him. Halfback's his position for the rest of his career. No way he should be playing anywhere else.
No.
He showed last year, especially in the finals. He's a backman. He goes along with the kick. Definitely a backman. Wasn't a very good kick, that one. Now Petty handles it out the back to Sparrow. Couldn't gather it. Van Rooyen worries Hawkins out of it. Close, great tackle on Hibberd. It'll be a ball up. So another ball up. A lot of stoppages in this first quarter. Gawn gets the tap down. No one really read it except for Tui. He drives a long torpy inside the forward 50. Went too far over the top of the Geelong forwards and intercepted there by Jake Lever. In fact, it's Stephen May. So he goes towards the defensive 50 and finds Brayshaw. He works it inside with a dangerous kick. Don't know about that option. Cut off by Blitzars. Close did well. That goes in with a short kick inside the forward 50.
Oh, that's about an 8-metre kick.
That was about an 8-metre kick, I would say, yeah.
It's just another turnover by Melbourne. Like, why would you go to Rivers when Blitzars is right there? Like, it just...
Yeah, it's not... I mean, I know that some people would say he's at the teasing distance, so you go for it maybe just hoping, but the kick was way too lifted. Like, it wasn't a drilling kick. It was too much of a teaser for Blitzars to get there. And now Gary Rowan, pretty much straight in front, 45 metres out. He comes in, Rowan, to get his mind back on the game. He drives it home, and Geelong get their third. Well, he definitely needed that. And it was a great finish there from Gary Rowan. Great work from Geelong. Melbourne just shooting themselves in the foot at the moment.
Yeah, it's just...
No, like you said, there's no method going forward from them. And then just...
their midfield just isn't doing it at the moment. Like,
Petrarca, I don't know what his disposal efficiency would be at the moment, but it would not be very high. He had 7 touches so far, Christian Petrarca, but he's hardly done anything with it. Christian Petrarca, currently going at 57% with his disposal, and it's definitely showing at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty poor at the moment.
I'm surprised he even has 50, to be honest, at this stage. But now Melbourne get the clearance forward. Great mark from Buse. Oh. So Buse takes the mark at half back. Melbourne just can't get the ball locked inside their forward line. So now Buse goes down the wing. Good kick. Bowes was too busy worried about the player in front of him and dropped the mark.
Hunter
Rivers handles over the top to Hunter, who just thumps the ball forward 20. I don't know about that option. But now Buse, smart little kick across his body and finds Bruin. Yeah, I don't know how that play from Hunter. I mean, if there's a player there, yes, but there's no one anywhere near that play.
And when he's such a good kick, like, you want him to use the ball with his foot.
Yeah, you don't want him to be tapping the ball forward like that, especially if you've got the chance to kick it.
Yeah.
So now Gawn kicks in towards the wing. Van Rooyen against 2. Did well to cause a contest. Then got a high one. Probably should get the free kick. It's called. Play on an advantage, though, and Jordan mucked it up. Blitzar's got paid. That went 4 metres. That's a shit decision. Oh, that's a shocker. The kick across the back 50 to the cone, he missed him, but he had time. And he works it out a little bit wider, and Geelong have the football in possession, but haven't been using it that well themselves, to be fair. Just using it a little bit better than Melbourne. So now a long kick towards the middle of the middle of the wing. God. Petty drops a simple mark. Now Lever gathers it out wide to Langdon. He's got some space. He did nicely handle out the back to McVee. He drives a long ball. Petrarca probably gave away the free kick. But wasn't paid. Now Smith back to Petrarca. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Great read from Stewart, but then left it behind. Taps it towards the boundary line. Fritsch on the boundary does nicely to pick it. Has some space. Kicks it back in towards the top of the goal square. Now Bruin couldn't gather it. Van Rooyen did well with the pressure. Tapped away. And now Langdon falls to ground. They didn't bring the ball with him, really. Now Buse, good pressure from Melbourne. And eventually runs out of bounds from Chandler.
It was just a poor kick inside 50 by Petrarca.
Yeah, he should have been going with a low ball to a leading Fritsch, not out the back.
He kicked it towards Stewart's advantage.
Yeah, Stewart should have really done better.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went straight to ground. So in the forward pocket, minute to go. Umpire throws it in, couldn't gather it. There was Van Rooyen. It's tapped to Petrarca. It'd be another ball up at the 50-metre line. Van Rooyen will tap out the back. Chandler hasn't really been seen much so far. Breaks past one tackle. Did really well. Took the traffic with him. Viney back on the ground. Drives the ball towards the top of the goal square. Stewart in front did well. Pickett couldn't get the ball away. Fritsch, usually pretty good in this situation. Just gets the handball away to Smith, who snaps across towards goal. And Melbourne got another. Great finish from Joel Smith. And Melbourne keeping in touch after a pretty poor start to this one.
I think Simon Goodwin would be pretty happy at the moment because they haven't played well, but they're only down by 9 points. So
they got very lucky there too. Yeah. I think that was really, really lucky because really Geelong should have done better there. Again, another kick just inside the forward line wasn't really to anyone's advantage. Just another ball sent in. It is starting to rain down at GMHBA Stadium now, so maybe that will help Melbourne just driving the ball inside the forward 50. Just another messy kick, but again, Stewart couldn't mark that. Maybe he should have got a free kick for a drag down to the arm, but Smith did well. He immediately got on the boot, just kicked it towards goal. And, if he's good for a goal and a half a game, he'll be definitely in this Melbourne side going towards the end of the year. Gawn gets the little tap down, but Bose gathers it, kicks it towards the forward 50. Couldn't mark it was Myers, could spoil away there was Rivers. Hunter out to Rivers now. And now jammed on the boot there from Melbourne. Long ball towards the wing. Great spoil from behind was Viney. He's definitely recovered from that shoulder injury he had earlier. Must have been just a stinger. I thought he maybe dislocated it, but he's completely fine. So only 20 seconds to go in this first quarter. Geelong up by 9. Probably one more chance for either team if it comes out of the stoppage cleanly. Gawn down to Petrarca and now Petty. Puts it on the left boot towards half forward. Well on there from behind was Joel Smith. Kept it in front of him. Kept it in play too. Don't know about that option. Now Bruin works it back to Koning. And now Henry who just takes the contact. And Jordan drives him to ground. Siren's just about to sound. So Geelong will have a 9-point lead at quarter time. Umpire throws it up once again. Ruckman wrestle, but the whistle goes. Siren's gone for quarter time. After a 37-minute quarter with the injury to Jeremy Cameron, had concussion, got hit with an unfortunate circumstance with Gary Rowan's shoulder. That's took him out for the rest of the game. We'll take him out for next week as well. So I'll just bring up the statistics now, guys. So who do you think won that first quarter? Do you think Geelong had definitely the better of it?
Oh, yeah, they've definitely had the better of it. It's just that they just
couldn't really.
They couldn't do it. They should be put more on the scoreboard.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like I said, Simon Goodwin would probably be a bit happier that they're only down by 9 points.
Yeah, I think he's probably happier than Chris Scott at the moment. Because that was a really poor first quarter by Melbourne, and they're probably lucky that they're only 9. They're definitely lucky they're only 9 points down. Let's bring up the next one. Alright, guys, so quarter time, leading disposal getter on the ground is Christian Petrarca with the 9 disposals. After that, we have Tanner Bruin with the 8, Ed Langdon and Max Holmes with the 7, and then Zach Tui with the 6, rounding out the top 5. And then for the best fantasy scorers out there, we have Tanner Bruin with the 37, Jed Buse with the 29, Gary Rowan with the 28, Ed Langdon with the 28, and then rounding out the top 5 is Jack Viney with the 27. I'd probably say Tanner Bruin's probably been best on ground at this stage in the first quarter. He had a really good start to this game.
Yeah, he has.
He's been able to get the ball. He's already got a goal as well. He's pretty good with the football too, I think. And it looks like they've definitely found one. Obviously, he was brought in for the future, really, but I think he's definitely going to be one of those few for Geelong's future in the midfield. Obviously, with Dangerfield, coming towards the end of his career, and even Mitch Duncan, who was formerly in the midfield, Cameron Guthrie as well. So
yeah.
But I mean, good start for Geelong. Probably should be further in front, like we said, but. Yeah, that was probably a few points, maybe a goal or two left out there, Geelong in that first term. Oh, God. Oh, Jesus Christ, you hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. So what was your first quarter? What did you think of the first quarter of your live stream, Jack? Was it better than the game?
Yeah, it was at most points, wasn't it? Just a very scrappy game, even before the rain came in, so...
Yeah, we'll see how the rest of this game pans out if it's going to start raining. Because, if it's going to stay like that, it's going to be fucking shit. Have you got any players out? Have you got 4?
Yeah, I think it was like 4, wasn't it? Yeah.
I got Rosie, McAndrew, Mullen, and Sheasel at the moment. Hopefully Harrison plays. Then I'll be fine. So you got 1, 2, 3...
That hasn't updated,
No, it hasn't updated. Okay.
Yeah.
So how many have you got? Have you still got Jack Zeeble?
No.
Connor Rosie, you've still got. Have you got any of these two?
No, neither of those. So I think it's still 4 out, so.
Yeah, Euland.
Yeah.
Yeah, it should be 4. Trying to see if there's any more Reds. Oh, Buller. Maybe it's 5.
Yeah, maybe 5 actually. Yeah.
Did you bring him in this week or last week?
Last week, so yeah, would it be a...
It would be 5, probably. Yeah. Jake Buller got dropped for Sydney. Thursday night footy on Fox. Yeah, we just heard that, Sarah. He's shown some things, Tanner Bruin, in his early bit of his career for Geelong. It'd be interesting to see, if he can continue. He had a pretty good start to the game last week against Port Adelaide and then faded. But I think now, with the loss of Dangerfield obviously before the game, and he's a little bit more of a younger brigade for Geelong. They don't have a lot of them, so he's gonna have to start lifting for Geelong tonight. But he's definitely started this game off very well. Suffers. So yeah, there's still no news on Jeremy Cameron at this stage, it seems. That was such a hard hit, fuck. So it looks like Jeremy Cameron's currently getting assessed for everything, see how he's doing. So they should know more about halftime, which is probably fair enough. I think it usually takes about that amount of time to see exactly not the extent of the injury, but just to see how he's feeling and that sort of stuff. Not only not being able to get the ball moving, but just the use of it's been horrid. Because Geelong aren't using it that well either. Well, now I think that surge football from Melbourne, like just getting the ball inside forward 50, could work if it's raining.
Yeah.
But in that first quarter when it was pretty good conditions... Okay, so Jeremy Cameron has been going to hospital now, so that's not the best news, to be honest. Hopefully everything all works out with that. Hopefully he's alright in a couple of weeks. But the second quarter is back underway. Alright. So Brayshaw's been caught up here by Holmes. It'll be another stoppage. So it looks like Max Gawn's is forward at the moment. Probably get that height up there. He's usually pretty good up forward. Grundy tried to get the kick away, couldn't. Viney gets the little handball out to Brayshaw now. He drives it long towards Max Gawn, but the kick ill-directed. Should have marked that red college, hasn't he? Just gets the hands free to Koning. Handball's a high one. Couldn't gather it was Duncan. Now close. Just got the handball away. Now to Koning. Great pressure from Melbourne here, but Geelong get free. And then the ball goes towards the wing that's kicked out on the full. So Jed Hughes kicks it out on the full. Be a free kick to Melbourne. Definitely was out of bounds pretty quickly. Yeah, the umpires called him right up. So Petty won't take the kick. It will be Christian Salem, which I think Melbourne would definitely more prefer.
They're just going to look.
I don't think it's raining anymore, at the moment at least. But he's just got to go along with this one again. Towards the pack up goes Rivers in front. He took the mark nicely.
Yeah, well,
I don't really know if that's where the kick was meant to go, because it dropped pretty suddenly. Rivers read it nicely and took the mark. Jeez. It's a very dangerous kick, because if that's turned over, Geelong just shoot down the other end.
Yeah, it looked like it was off,
Off the instep, maybe. So Trent Rivers probably hasn't had the biggest start to this one. Had a pretty good game last time they played, before the bye. Only kicked the 7 goals in his career, so not a known goal kicker. But he will kick from 50, though. Trent Rivers comes in, kicks towards goal. He's left it out to the right. It won't make the distance. Gone on the line, almost took it. But Jack Henry's happy to pop it through for a rush behind. So now 8 points the difference. So now Duncan kicks a long ball towards the wing. O'Connor probably should have marked that. Then falls to ground. And Melbourne happy to see that out of bounds. We saw Kane Corns in midweek, last Sunday, say that players should be wearing the, not the studs, but the moulded studs, whatever they are. So not so dangerous. I think that's probably shown there why they should be. But nonetheless, umpire throws it in. Grundy couldn't get the tap down. Gets out the back to Atkins. He just drives the ball forward towards half forward. Great mark there from Hibbert.
Oh, not
Wasn't paid though. So play on. He now kicks it back towards the forward 50 to Gawn. He overran it a little. Now Stewart, always calm in these situations, sends the ball out wide. Holmes, and now a little bit of space here for Blitzars. The handball was not the best though. Made Henry have to go for it, but he did pretty nicely. Puts a check side kick towards the wing, but it's intercepted well from Melbourne. And they want to move it quickly here. He works it into the middle of the ground, got pushed as he kicked it to Grundy. He works it back to Hibbert, and now they can work it on the outer side through Ed Langdon. Doesn't have many options though, Langdon, so he's just going to have to hold it up a little bit for Melbourne. That's been their problem all night.
Yeah, they just can't get the ball moving.
He plays on now, Langdon, just trying to get some pace into this game. He now drives it towards half forward. Not a very good kick, and easy intercept there for Tacone.
Came off the side of his boot.
Yeah, not a good play at all.
But the forward line and midfield's got to actually give him something to kick to.
Yeah. So now Stewart kicks a long ball towards the wing. Ollie Henry in a one-on-one. Lever just slaps it forward, but then Blitzard slaps it back. Hawkins almost dropped that out. Good tackle there from Hunter. Drags him to ground. Another ball up. So umpire's ready to throw it up again. Grundy looks like he's definitely taking the ruck roll. Probably the majority of the ruck roll at the moment. He definitely did play a lot better in the ruck than Gawn at the moment. Just it hasn't really been his night so far. Close couldn't get it off the ground. Tackled immediately was blitzed by 2 demons. It'll be another stoppage.
The start of this quarter, Melbourne have really brought the pressure.
Yeah, they have, yeah. It's definitely a lot better from Melbourne early in this second term. Little tap down there from Grundy. Immediately met was Viney by Atkins, and it'll be another stoppage. Won't be long for an umpire pays a stupid decision here to clear the play.
Yeah.
Yeah, Petrarca currently talking to Goodwin. Little tap down there. There we go. Oh, they played the block! I thought for sure that was going at Grundy. I don't like those decisions.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I have to look at it again. Nonetheless, Geelong get the free kick, and now Duncan kicks a long ball towards 50. Held the jumper there was Sengel. Oh no, it was must have been May first. Stephen May will take the free kick on the Toyota logo at half back. He now kicks it long down the same wing. There's been a lot of that on the outer side in this quarter. Stewart gets a fist out the backs. Left it behind was Duncan. Probably should have got a free kick. Play onto the call. Chandler feigns the handball. Did well though. Now kicks it towards goal off the left boot. Kate Chandler goes across the face and it rolled through for another behind.
Yeah,
I think it should have been a free kick to Mitch Duncan.
It should have been a free kick there, but Melbourne again, they're not making it easy. They're not making it easy on themselves.
Getting a little bit more pace into the game in the second term. They need to, because I know it's maybe a little bit harder with the wet conditions, but yeah, I think at the moment they're getting a little bit more space, which I think is very good. Oh, he's running into a bit of trouble here, Isaac Smith. Eventually got himself out of it. Now kicks it down towards Gawn. He spoils it away. Holmes just takes the tackle. Don't know about that option. I don't know. I think I should be holding the ball, to be honest. Max Holmes just immediately just said, I'm going to get tackled, so I'll just sit here and hold it.
So
Melbourne had all 4 inside 50s in the second quarter. Stanley gets the knockdown. Coming through there was Rivers left it behind. Now Hunter gets it back to Rivers. Feigned the handball backwards, but then broke out of the tackle. He gets the 1-2, gets it back Rivers. He runs towards 50. Kicks towards goal. Rivers gets just across the face. Pickett nearly got there, but just goes through for a behind.
Rivers has started really well in this quarter.
Yeah, but that's 3 behinds now for Melbourne. We saw Geelong waste a couple of opportunities in that first quarter. Melbourne kicked 3 straight behinds at the moment. They want to take their opportunities, especially down in Geelong. So now Duncan kicks a long ball down the wing. Up goes Rowan. Probably got a high one. Wasn't paid. Tui. Back to Holmes. He breaks past the tackle of Bayshore. Kick wasn't very good. McVee gets a little kick off the side of the boot to Rivers. And now Salem. Short ball towards 50. Just marks it. Going back with the flight there was Neil Bullen. It's a really good kick there from Salem. Just got it to Neil Bullen in the end. And yeah, like you said, Rivers has done well early in this second term. But Christian Salem probably being the one as well for Melbourne who's, started pretty well.
Yeah, he's the one actually using it well for him.
Yeah. But now Neil Bullen. A chance here for Melbourne to draw level. He kicks towards goal. He's left it out to the right. It will stay in bounds though, and eventually slap through from Reece Stanley. So 4 straight behinds to the start of the second term here for Melbourne. Just can't convert on the scoreboard. Long ball towards the middle of the ground. Blitzards from behind towards the spoil. Hibbard couldn't get the handball away. Now Geelong can go. Isaac Smith to Rowan. Just took the tackle of Petty. Didn't really look to get rid of it. Threw that out surely. Wasn't paid. Now Hawkins gets back onto the ball. Hibbard rides him like a jockey. Hawkins trying to get it out. Can't. It'll be another stoppage. Well, for all that, they get to the middle of the ground. I don't know. Again, I don't like that play. They should have been holding the ball. They were playing him the first 20 seconds of the game, and since then they're like, oh no, we're going to put the whistle away. O'Connor gets the kick away. McVee did nicely, and now Viney to Salem. He kicks it out wide. Great kick, finds Chandler. He's working himself into this one. Chandler's got an option out wide to Langdon. He's also got a handball option in Salem. Salem gets the ball smothered well there from Stewart. It just trickles out of bounds. Great work from Tom Stewart to pressure that up. Just don't know how Melbourne what they were doing there. Surely you got... I mean, Max scored long. You give that option. Surely.
You have the option there now, not like in the first quarter. You have to go up for it.
Yeah, I think that's why they've just shucked him down there. It's like, at least he's an option up there to go to. Grundy plays for the free, didn't get it. But eventually, free kick's been pulled out. It will go to Grundy. No? Who's it going to?
He's
throwing it again.
It was horrible throw.
You hardly ever see that. So, umpire will throw this in once again. 6 minutes of game time in the second turn. No goals have been scored. Stanley taps a good ball 20 metres. Now Viney off the ground. I don't know about that option. McVee couldn't gather it and eventually trickles out of bounds. So yeah, 5-point lead of the Cats at the moment. Demons had all the running in the second term though. Have Cats even had an inside 50? I still don't think they have. Maybe one.
I think so.
Grundy little tap down coming through was Brayshaw, couldn't gather it. Does well there, Geelong. It was Atkins. Kicks into the middle of the ground, though. Good gather there from Hawkins out to Rowan. Now Geelong finally get the ball forward. He runs to 55 metres out. Gary Rowan drives it towards goal and leaves it out just to the right-hand side.
He had Stephen May right there, so he couldn't... He should have still looked for the players going inside forward 50, I think.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah,
I don't mind it, but you got to kick it though.
Oh, he's turned it over.
Turned it over here. Ollie Henry snaps around the body towards goal. The bounce goes through for another behind.
Yeah.
So now, after Geelong really haven't had a forward all quarter, they've kicked 2 quick behinds.
Well, so far this quarter, you can see Tanner Bruin hasn't touched it yet. So
yeah, he's got to start finding that consistency. Now Hibbert goes long. Probably should have marked that there. Blitzars just pulls it forward close. Gets the handball out towards O'Connor. Left it behind. Did well. Jordan tried to get the handball towards Petty, and then Petty couldn't get it away. Free kick's been pulled out, and that's holding the ball. I mean, yeah, whatever. It's probably there, but fucking being consistent on it. We've seen a couple of players throw the ball tonight, hasn't been paid, and they ripped that one out. So Jack Bowes gets the free kick at half forward. He now goes long towards the pocket. Looks like it'll be cut off well there from Langdon. Didn't mark it though. Dropped the head really. So then Lever gets it off to Jordan. He drives a long ball towards the wing. Not a very good kick though to Koning. Probably should get a free kick, and he does. So front on contact against Neil Bullen will go to Koning.
He just kicked it to Geelong.
Yeah. That was their problem in the first quarter though. They couldn't get it outside of their defensive half really. So now Koning sets it up towards the 30 metres out. And a great mark taken from Gary Rowan. Seems like the injury to Jeremy Cameron, he's definitely done well to shake that off. He's done pretty well so far in this one, Gary Rowan. You would have understood if he kind of faded out of this game with the concussion that he, accidental contact to the head of Jeremy Cameron. But he's done pretty well to keep his head in the game, Gary Rowan.
He got the separation from Hibbert that he needed.
Always had that pace, always that 20-metre pace just to get off his opponent. So Gary Rowan straight in front, 40 metres out, kicks towards goal. He's left it out to the right-hand side. Just scrapes it through behind.
3 in a row, though.
They've kicked 3 in a row. Melbourne have kicked 4 points. No team can convert at the moment. So 8 points is the difference. No team can score a goal in the second term. Nearly 10 minutes of playtime at the moment. No goals scored. Stephen May drives it long to Broadcast side. Couldn't mark it, was Petty. Close did well to Rowan. And Rowan with a short little dab kick. 20-metre pass to Tom Hawkins on the lead. Well, hasn't really been seen so far, Tom Hawkins. Had a couple of touches like in that 80-metre play. 2 kicks away from goal. But that was really good play there from Geelong. So he's going to be big tonight, Tom Hawkins. Obviously with the loss of Jeremy Cameron. He's got to stand up. He has in his career. So it's not like it'd be foreign for him. Hasn't really been seen so much so far tonight, though.
Well, someone's got to be able to kick one, don't they?
Usually a pretty reliable kick, Tom Hawkins. So about 35 metres out, Tom Hawkins. Slide angle, comes in. And the umpire does not move. Tom Hawkins kicks the first goal of the second quarter. Well, finally someone converts.
Yeah, Gary Rowan has really done well.
Yeah, keep his head in the game. He's done really well so far. I mean, he's the highest AFL fantasy rated player at the moment. He's had 8 touches, 4 marks, kicked the 1 goal too, so he could have been a little bit more accurate. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing Melbourne at the moment. They had a really good chance early in the second term to really put some pressure on Geelong, and they missed all their chances. And then Geelong go down the other end, lock it in for a good 2 or 3 minutes, and finally get the goal. Just again, no work on the ground there. Too easy. Got straight past a couple of Melbourne players. Geelong just a little bit cleaner here.
Yeah, like last 2 or 3 minutes, it's just been all Geelong, and all the effort they started with Melbourne has just evaporated.
Yeah. Little tap down there from Gawn. Petrarca immediately met by Bowes. Free kick's been pulled out here. It will go to Petrarca, who gives off the handball to Brayshaw. Takes a good 10 metres and then kicks it inside the forward 52, a one-on-one picket. Didn't really gave up on it. Don't like that. And then he drives back for the ball though. Did well, dragged it in. Umpire circles, and it'll be.
And does nothing for an extra 2 seconds.
Yeah,
and this is why these head knocks keep happening.
Yeah, these dangerous tackles.
Yeah.
Umpire throws it up. 30 metres inside the forward 50 here for Melbourne. Blitzards gets a little tap down. Tui just gets the handball away.
Insufficient intent.
That should be insufficient intent, and it's paid. So free kick will be going to Christian Petrarca. About 55 out from goal, 60 out.
Well, he's one of the worst kicks inside forward 50.
He just kicks it towards the top of the goal, towards the 50. Gawn played for the free. Don't know about that. O'Connor gives it out the back to Kolajasny, who kicks it out of the defensive 50 and just goes out of bounds on the full.
Yeah.
So now Melbourne are locking it in. They need to score for a goal from this, though. We've seen that early in the second term. They had that ball in there, but they couldn't convert it on the scoreboard.
Needs to look for Max Gorn here.
Yeah. He kicks it long towards the top of the goal square. Out the back was Gorn. It gets all the way out the back. And it's Joel Smith who's taken the mark.
Wow. Yeah, everyone was looking at Max Gorn there, and it just floats over the back.
Got right out the back and he took it. Well, he's already kicked one, Joel Smith. Well, he needs to convert this. I don't know if he's kicked many multiple goals in his career as a multiple goal kicker, but this year when he's been in for Melbourne, he's definitely competed, and that's what Melbourne have wanted.
Yeah, and
That's what they've missed out from with Ben Brown and obviously Sam Wiedemann last year. But a
the
chance
rain is coming down.
Rain is coming down. He's just got to get a good ball drop here, and it should be home. He comes in, kicks the goal, Joel Smith, and Melbourne finally have their first goal of the second quarter.
The good old defender scores.
Well, I mean, a bit surprising when he came into the team as a forward because they obviously had Harrison Petty playing up there at times, and obviously Ben Brown, who's still sitting in the VFL, and even Tom McDonald to an extent. But they finally get one, Melbourne, and Joel Smith actually, probably looking as one of the most dangerous forwards at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Melbourne have definitely played better in the second term, but Geelong, I mean, they've only won the quarter by 1 point, Melbourne. Just got right out the back. Everyone really misread that. The whole power. I think actually Van Rooyen played that pretty well. Like, just drew the defenders with him.
Yeah.
And they just got out the back. Easy mark. Melbourne take that goal. Little tap out there from Stanley. Viney gets there first. Does very nicely, Jack Viney, and then just keeps running. He may get called for running too far. Just got away with it. Kicks it inside the forward 50. Out the back, it's Van Rooyen. Almost took it. Gets out to Chandler now. Gets out the handball to Hunter, who just puts it on the boot towards the top of the goal square. Does well there I think it was Zach Guthrie or De Koning. It gets out the back towards the top of the goal square. Fritsch gets a little free kick against him for a kicking in danger. There'll be a free kick inside the defensive goal square here for Geelong.
Cozzy Pickett needs to get to this game. He's been to a couple contests. He's done nothing. He just needs to get into it.
Yeah, he's been playing for free kicks.
Yeah.
It's not what he needs to do.
It's
He's
what he was
an
doing
excitement machine, and he needs to be playing that
Yeah.
way, not giving away.
He's been very low in effort this season.
Yeah.
Impact and...
So now Jack Henry drives a long ball towards the wing. Grundy does well to get in front. He's been good so far.
Yeah. Reece Stanley looks a bit underdone
Yeah.
at the moment.
He gets it long now. Brody Grundy in front with Fritsch. Couldn't mark it. Gets out to Buse. Just takes the tackle of Bailey Fritsch. It'll be another stoppage inside the forward 50 here for Melbourne.
Like, this is the moment when you want Cozzy Pickett to get on the run.
You want to see, Tom Papley running straight through the stoppage. Even if he doesn't get involved, at least he's taking a couple of opponents with him.
Yeah.
He's free at the moment, just didn't go to him at that stage. Gets out the back towards Tui. The bounce just gets to Stengel, and he's just happy to see it out of bounds. So yeah, 8 points the difference, 8 minutes to go in the second term. Melbourne definitely probably played the better of the two teams so far, I would say, in the second quarter.
Yeah. They probably deserve another goal here, Melbourne.
Yeah. So back in the ruck, little tap down there from Grundy. He doesn't really get directed to a Melbourne player. The kick from Bose is a bit dangerous. Kicks it back inside. Immediately met was Tui by Chandler. Gets the handball out. Great pressure here from Melbourne. Pickett gets the handball forward. Out the back is Fritsch. In the pocket. Snaps it towards the top of the goal square. Great work from Henry. The kick just wasn't directed well to Van Rooyen. And Henry's happy to see it out in the defensive pocket. Yeah, just a little bit. I mean, the rain's starting to come down once again. So Melbourne, just get that ball forward. Just work, just any way, anyhow. Just get that ball forward. It seems that Melbourne's going to play it like. Throw-in comes in. Both ruckmen miss it. Bruin gets immediately met by Viney. They both wrestle for it, but it'll be another stoppage. So yeah, maybe that Melbourne, first quarter of just surging the ball forward may be working a little bit more in the second term.
Yeah.
With the rain starting to come down. Stanley, good fist away, gets it towards the defensive 50. Smith, again, trying to just slap it forward.
He's throwing
Petrarca's absolutely thrown that. Great step from Viney, though. Kicks a high ball towards goal. In front was Joel Smith, and a great ball from behind there from Tom Stewart. Knocks it through for a
God,
line.
that is just...
He 100% threw that.
I know the State of Origin was on last night, but God.
That was a freaking throw. That
God.
was a shocking decision. It was through for a behind nonetheless for Melbourne. So now Duncan drives it back towards the outer side. Grundy in a one-on-one probably should get the free kick, and he does.
I don't like that. Like both of them, I think, are cuddling each other. Really, you look at it.
They're just cuddling for
Yeah.
warmth. But Grundy will get the free kick. He has been very good in the ruck so far tonight, Brody Grundy. I think Simon Goodwin saw at quarter time that they needed to have that tall player up there to give a contest in Max Gawn. So I think that's why they decided to chuck Grundy in the forward in the ruck. Kicks towards the pocket, couldn't mark it. Goes through to the pocket and he'll go through for a boundary throw in. How you doing, SF21? So throws it in forward pocket here for Melbourne. Well, that's probably a free kick again for everyone.
If you want to give a block, that's it.
Pickett plays for the free, didn't get it. Now Bose, he shoveled that out, almost a throw. Immediately met with Stanley by Van Rooyen. It'll be a ball up.
Like Stanley couldn't even get near that. Like,
yeah, that should have been a free
That's more
kick.
of a block than anything that I've ever seen.
Another little throw up. Stanley gets the tap away. Coming through was Pickett. Couldn't kick it away.
Oh,
It's off the ground. Keziah Pickett has done nothing so far. Pickett until now. Soggers it off the ground. And Melbourne get their fourth. Back within 1 point.
And he shushes the crowd for something that he's done nothing in this game for, and he shushes the crowd.
Yeah, I don't know about shushing the crowd. You've done not much tonight, but good finish in the end. Back to within 1 point.
Or maybe we'll get him back into a bit of form here.
Yeah, maybe I'll bring him into the game, because so far all he's been doing is playing for free kicks, so...
Well, who's on him in this contest? No one's even on. Oh, a bit of Buse, I think it is.
Yeah, I think it's Buse.
Yeah, he needed more touch on him.
Yeah, he didn't have any touch on him. Great work from Pickett, though.
Like we've all seen during his career, you give him a metre space, you're done there. You're already done. So
He's trying to shush, but his fingers were stuck together. So back in the ruck, little tap down there from Grundy. He gets to Bose, couldn't gather it. Stanley left it behind as well. Good gather there from Bruin, though. Been a bit quiet in the second term. He kicks a long ball towards the forward 50. Smith in behind, couldn't gather it. Now Brayshaw off to Viney. That's a throw. Yeah, that's a throw. You can't do that.
No.
You can't do that.
We need a few from him disposals.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do that. That's not a handball. That's just throwing it
already, so...
Yeah. So Bose will get the free kick. Wheels around on the right boot and kicks it long inside the forward 50. Up goes Henry. Couldn't mark it. O'Connor on the ground. Good pressure there from Langdon. Now Lever gives a handball back to under pressure Rivers, and he just drives a high ball towards Gawn. Gawn caused the contest. Couldn't mark it. Bose off the ground. Gets it back inside the forward 50. Rivers gets it off. Now Sparrow off to Salem, who kicks it out wide. And all on his own at the moment is Joel Smith. They don't want to man him up at the moment, this guy. He gives it off to Langdon, who gets it immediately smothered. Don't know about that option. Great tackle, though, on Collar Jasny. Almost holding the ball. Myers working back onto it. Taps it to Atkins, who tried to duck under the tackle. Salem slapped away there from Stanley. Now Melbourne surge it forward. Sparrow went for the handball, then broke it back in, then thumps it away. Buse gets the handball forward. Gathered well there was Atkins. Slung to ground. Could be in trouble there. Now they just surge it forward Geelong. Turned it over, though. Now Hibbard off to Rivers. He kicks it out wide, and now Melbourne again are on their own. Van Rooyen on the wing. They've got to go here, Melbourne. He drives it long to the one-on-one. Fruch is out the back. Went up for the
way too early.
I don't know about that option.
Way too early, Fritch.
And Jack Henry will get the free kick.
All he had to do was give a bit of body. He had all the position, and he went up, but he just didn't have to.
I don't know about going for a specky in these conditions.
Like,
just push, just nudge him under the ball.
Yeah.
He's done it so many times, getting easy goals out the back. That was not the option.
Yeah, like you just had to give him a little bit of contact and let the ball fly over it, really.
Yeah.
Run back onto it.
All he had to do, and for some reason he tried to take Mark of the Year in I was going to say torrential rain. It's not that bad, but cheers. Still 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go in the second quarter. Back in the ruck, Grundy gets a little tap down, only as far as Bruin. Worked himself into it a little bit. Buse gives the handball inside. Terrible handball, though. Lever did well to read it, but then he turns it back over. Bruin to close. He kicks the ball towards the top of the 50. Not the best kick. Henry couldn't gather it. Well done there from Hibbard to Petty. Just gets the handball away. Viney off to Langdon, left it behind, though. Great pressure from both sides. Close works it across the 50. Finds Holmes. He steps back inside. Gets it on the left boot out wide. Just a little bit too much on it for Stengel. Hibbard works back onto it. Oh, almost taking the legs out. Probably not there, to be honest. Probably just slipped over in the conditions. And eventually trickles out of bounds. gone up a notch in the past few minutes. I mean, we can probably see now that this game's not going to be a pretty game of football. It's going to be a lot of surge footy and stuff to that nature, but, it can still be an entertaining game, and I think definitely this game's got a little bit more entertaining in the past 5 minutes. Tap down in front there was Blitzars. Coming through there was Bruin, couldn't bring it with him. Sparrow off to Grundy. Don't know about that option in the handball. Langdon actually did really well to control that. Then sends a high ball towards the wing. Get under that, he says. Sport away there from Stanley. Blitzars dragged down by 2 Demons. Great tackle. That should be holding the ball. Great pressure there from Melbourne. Sparrow gets the free kick. I know it'll be Joel Smith, in fact. He's been good so far, Joel Smith.
Yeah, it's been.
Arguably been their most dangerous forward. He kicks it long towards the forward 50. Gorn against 2. Did well to cause a contest. DeConing did nicely to Tom Stewart, who's happy to run it out of bounds. And with 3.5 minutes to go, Melbourne about 80 out from their goal. He probably needs to lift Christian Petrarca.
Yeah, I think Atkins is on it. He's been on him for most of this.
He did well last week on Zach Butters, Tom Atkins.
Yeah.
Yeah, Christian Petrarca, maybe even go forward for a little bit. But again, I don't know if that's the big option. I think he can work through it. He's that good a player. Little tap down. Holmes tried to get it to himself, couldn't. Then Salem just keeps it in front of him. Blitzars did very nicely to keep it in play. Tap it a good 20 metres and then close sockers it off the ground. Gets in, it just gets interrupted by his own teammate. Rowan tries to slap it forward and couldn't. But now close. Gets it off to Myers. Known as the best goal assist player in the comp. Gives it off to Tom Hawkins with a brilliant kick across goal. Just couldn't make it to Sui. And then well done there from, I think it was Langdon slapping it away. And now Melbourne are through. They can get it on the counter. Brayshaw works it out wide. Then smothered well there from Tom Stewart.
Wow.
And well done from both sides there with the defensive pressure.
Yeah, I think Hawkins, he had 2.
I think he had the right to go for goal. I think he went with the right option in the end, to be honest, but yeah.
For one step, like even with Hawkins, it was a very hard kick to do.
Yeah. Tap down there from Grundy, gets it off to Petrarca, and now Hunter to Salem. He drives the ball towards forward 50, 2-on-2. Great work from Jack Henry, just to get his opponent under the ball and takes the mark. So 2.5 minutes to go. Rain pouring down in Geelong. Oh, that's a dangerous kick. Could be 50 against Max Gawn. Don't think it should be, and it won't. So Mitch Duncan takes the ball at half back.
You don't want to do pretty footy, but in a defensive...
I just don't know why he went... I mean, I know Duncan's a better user, but is it really that important to go 15 metres across your defensive 50 just to get it to Mitch Duncan?
Yeah.
Don't know about that. So he works it wider now to Tom Stewart. And he plays on and kicks it long towards the outer wing. 1-on-1. Hibbert gets in front, gets a little hand to it, and it trickles out of bounds. So 1 point lead to Geelong at the moment. Melbourne have had the better of it in this second term. 9 point lead to Geelong at quarter time. Only have a 1 point lead now. Wet conditions in this one as well, so high pressure game at the moment. Grundy gets it down. Great read from Petrarca. That's what he needs to do. Surges it forward. Neil Bullen on the 50 couldn't gather it. Stewart just gets it forward enough to Atkins. He gathers it, then gets it back into him by Melbourne player Hunter. Can't get it out. Immediately met there by Christian Petrarca was Mitch Duncan. It'll be another ball up. Petrarca's very frustrated at the moment. Looks like he's getting a hard tag from Tom Atkins tonight. Grundy gets it down to Brayshaw. He gets it inside the forward 50. In front was Van Rooyen, happy to let it go. Neil Bullen did nicely. Smith just couldn't gather it though. Duncan takes the contact, was Holmes for Petrarca. Guthrie gets immediately met by Fritsch. Dragged down. Just the ball gets out and it's a ball up. Called by Brett Roseberry in the forward pocket here for Melbourne. Minute and a half to go. Melbourne would love a late one to just sneak in front. Gawn and Stanley. Gawn gets it down. Only as far as Blitzars, though. He kicks a high ball out of the defensive 50 into the middle of the ground. Well done there from Levy to get a spoil onto it. O'Connor couldn't gather it. Close did, but the kick away actually will work. Now Guthrie surges it forward. The kick was ill-directed, though. Cut off there by Lever. He kicks it back towards the forward flank. And now kicked it forward. Here was Sparrow. In front was Fritsch. Couldn't gather it. Spoiled away there was DeConing. Now Duncan left it behind. Great work from Fritsch. Snaps towards goal. He's hooked it too much. Still in play just for the moment. Eventually rolled through for a point. Sorry, there was a whistle. I don't know why the whistle was blown. Do you know why?
No, I don't know.
Oh,
player down.
Oh, it's a player down.
College
it's
Asney.
College Asney at the moment. So I got a knee right to the kidney from DeConing. Jesus Christ, you're not going to stop injuring each other. Ball surge forward here now. Fritsch with 40 seconds to go gets the handball inside. Deviney and now Brayshaw snaps towards goal to the top of the goal square. Going back with the flight was Joel Smith. Couldn't gather it, and it's another behind here for Melbourne. So they take the lead for the first time tonight, courtesy of a rush behind. Joel Smith almost could have got a free kick there. So the kick in here for Tom Stewart. 30 seconds to go. Had a brilliant first half, Joel Smith. Probably arguably best on ground with Trent Rivers and Christian Salem so far.
Yeah.
So Stewart went to go out of side, but then goes on the boundary side to Zach Guthrie, take a brilliant mark. He gives it off to Kolajasny. He kicks the ball down the wing with a high ball. Don't know about that option. There was a shot of the arms, and Stephen May with the free kick. They got one more chance here, Melbourne, if he goes quickly. He eventually wheels around on the left boot and drives it towards the top of the 52, a one-on-one. Petrarca, that was weak. That was weak from Petrarca. He should have gone up for it.
Especially with a couple
Except he just pushed Brad Close. I mean, great courage from Brad Close to go back with that, because he was the smallest player anywhere near that ball, and he just went back with it and took the contact. But nonetheless, Melbourne, after having a pretty poor first quarter, caught back nicely and take the lead going into half time.
Which is probably what they deserved, really. They played, I think, better than Geelong. So
yeah. Alright, so just bring up statistics now, guys, and we'll go to half time. So in the first half, what do you think?
It's obviously been a very scrappy game. It's just both teams really wanting this win.
Yeah, well, both of them need it. I mean, Melbourne needed to keep in touch with the top two, and Geelong needed to keep in touch with that top eight, because if they needed another 6 or 7 wins, maybe even 8 wins to probably make the 8 now.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of games down in Geelong, but I mean, it would be a great start now to off last week losing to Port Adelaide. They need to start getting some wins on the board. It's not. I mean, as we know now, it's not just going to come for them. But nonetheless, at half-time, we have leading disposal getter on the ground. Surprisingly, is Brad Close with the 15. After that, 14 to Christian Petrarca. Then we have Christian Salem with the 13 along with Trent Rivers. And then Tanner Bruin with the 12 rounding out the top 5. And then for the AFL fantasy scorers, again, another surprise. Joel Smith with the 61. Leads all comers are probably being best on ground at the moment for Melbourne. He's been brilliant so far.
He's the one actually giving presence up forward. So
yeah, exactly. I mean, they had to send Max Gawn down there. I think he was given a contest. But definitely Joel Smith, I think he's been very good so far. Jack Viney after that with the 52, Trent Rivers with the 51. We've got Lockie Hunter with the 50, and then running out the top 5 is Christian Petrarca with the 47. Alright guys, we'll be back in the second half in about 15 minutes from now.
G'day guys, welcome back to the Boundary Riders podcast. Today we're up to episode 16 and we just completed another round of the buys, round 14. Pretty big week this week. We saw a couple of teams. We saw Carlton finally break their drought of 6 losses in a row, and we also saw Port Adelaide get their 11th win in a row as well, which I'm pretty sure is a club record for them. The final 8 is starting to shape itself up right now. A couple of teams as well, like Richmond and the Giants, have actually given themselves a bit of a chance to push towards the 8 towards the end of the season now with big wins for them. And there are a lot of teams teetering on that 6 to 10 spots right now, 11th spot, that are like really sitting in different positions, and it's unknown which team are going to be making the 8. But I think the top 4 is pretty much set for now. But one thing that came out of the weekend was the fact of the dangerous tackle, or the sling tackle, or who knows at this stage what sort of tackle we're looking for. But now, the question may be begged to ask, is the tackle dead? Because we've had a couple of seasons now where the bump has been supposedly dead, and I think it probably is to an extent. You can't really bump anymore. And the tackle now is almost getting pushed to you can't tackle anymore. Now, the 2 that were cited this weekend were Jared Berry and Lockie Whitfield. I believe those were the only 2. Whitfield did get a week. Berry got away with his. And I'm not saying that he deserved a week whatsoever. I watched that game live on Friday night, and that tackle on Will Hayward was a brilliant tackle. Should have been pin holding the ball, and I don't think anyone watching that game would have thought otherwise. That was a really bad decision from the umpire. And a really bad decision to suspend, even to tell Jared Berry that he's been suspended for rough conduct, because that was just a really good tackle. Now, the Lockie Whitfield one, I do think maybe that was worth a week. But again, I think it's really tough. I think probably because he did pin the arm and his head hit the ground, Jordan Clark, that's probably why he got a week for it. And I kind of get it. But I just think it's weak from the AFL to, yet again, really not come out and tell us what we are paying a free kick for. Because now it just seems every single time a player goes to ground and their head may hit the ground or anything like that happens, it's automatically going to be a week. And it's automatically going to be reported nonetheless. I think Jared Berry may have actually got a week if it wasn't for all the backlash that everyone was saying because it happened live on the game. That's why I think that Lockie Whitfield only got 1 week, because we've seen a lot of other players be getting treated a lot more harshly depending on what happens. And we even saw Sam Wicks get 2 weeks, which I think he probably deserved more because I think it was a stupid act. Yes, it wasn't much in the contact, but I think when players are tackling and they're getting more weeks compared to players jumping up and hitting someone in the head, which is not a football act, I think that's crap. But the tackle, is it dead? I don't want to say it is yet, but we even saw on the commentary during that game that people are saying that in a couple of years' time there won't even be tackling in this game. And that's not what anyone wants. This is a contact sport. Sometimes players are going to just, naturally just tackle someone and maybe sling them to the ground. And if the head hits the ground, I get the one like Nathan Broad earlier in the year on Parnell. That was 100% illegal. That's 100% an illegal tackle, and it should have been weeks, and it was 4 weeks. If that was done now, midway through the season, I think it would have been 5 or 6. And honestly, I think it would have been pretty fair. But a lot of them now are just ticky-touch ones that they're automatically paying as a sling tackle because a player is, falling to ground in that sort of motion. I mean, when a player is when a player is like trying to escape a tackle, it's not like they're standing still. So I think the umpires need to blow the whistle immediately. I know they did a couple of times in games this week and every now and then, but they're not calling it quick enough. They need to, as soon as a player gets tackled, you either pin him holding the ball or you pay a ball up and you grab the ball and quickly do it. Because players are getting players are taking a while to tackle, and then the umpire's not doing anything. So eventually the play either turns into a drag to ground, or because if you drag them to ground, it stops the play for the player, like the opponent. They can't get the ball out if they're laying on top of the ball. So I think it's ridiculous that we've had to get to this point now when the umpires don't know what's going on. The AFL definitely don't know what they're doing, and the supporters and people who are watching the game don't know what's going on either, and the players don't either. So it's just a whole stuff up from the AFL. It's just a fuck around, and it's just getting ridiculous now. It's hard to watch games now because I don't think any players have done it yet, like trying to cause the contact to get a high one, but it won't be long before players start doing it. And we don't want the AFL to start turning into that. We've already seen a lot of players starting to flop this year, and we don't need people to start initiating head contacts. I think that is not where the AFL want to go. And we can't see, if they ban the tackle, I don't think they'll ban the tackle, but if they keep on banning all kinds of different tackles and players are going to get suspended for something that they don't know what they're doing for, I think it's just ridiculous. And it's just going to be the start of the end of watching AFL football, really, because if there's no contact in the game, there's not a lot of reason to watch it. But nonetheless, that was probably the biggest thing to come out of this weekend, other than some of the games that went through. So I think now we'll go through the weekly votes that we do every week, or kind of a review of round 14. We started off round 14 at Adelaide Oval with Port Adelaide versus Geelong. Pretty big game. Geelong were just coming off the bye. Port Adelaide had their 10 wins in a row. So it was almost thought that Geelong could definitely take a scalp here and get their season back on track. And the first quarter and a half, it looked like that was going to happen. But Port Adelaide in the second half really stood up, led by Sam Powell-Pepper, Connor Rozee, even Dan Houston probably was the best on the ground in the end. He was massive in that game. Not so much Zach Butters. He did kind of get tagged from Tom Atkins, which he actually did a really good job, Atkins, on Butters. But in the end, I think that Port Adelaide are definitely a contender now. They've won 11 in a row. And, eventually they will get knocked off by a team. But, they're currently top on the ladder. Collingwood probably take it back next week. But at the moment, Port Adelaide sit top. So you got to give them all the credit that they deserve. with the 3-2-1 votes now. 3 votes I gave to Dan Houston, 2 votes I gave to Connor Rozee, and the 1 vote I gave to Miles Bergman. Now, Houston off halfback was brilliant in this game. Gave a lot of drive off halfback. He was probably Port Adelaide's best by, I think, a pretty significant margin. Connor Rozee with the 2 votes. He's been brilliant this year. It's a little bit unfortunate for him because Zach Butters has been playing really well. That he's been a little bit overshadowed, but Connor Rozee and Zach Butters, they're going to be a lethal combination for Port Adelaide for years to come. And the reason why I gave Miles Bergman the 1 vote is because of his role that he played on Jeremy Cameron. Now, this 3-2-1 votes is not always a midfield thing, like I've mentioned multiple times. But sometimes it will be. Sometimes the midfielders will be the best player on the ground, which is, it's going to happen. And Miles Bergman would not have many disposals in this game. I think he would have only had like 10, maybe 15. But the role that he played on Jeremy Cameron was amazing. He didn't let Jeremy Cameron did not score a goal all night, I believe. He may have kicked 1 early, I think. But in the second half, he was amazing. He was undersized, and he just... I didn't even think that Bergman could even do that sort of role. He's been playing a lot more half-back wingman this year. But to go back on to one of the best key forwards in the competition and lock him down and keep him out of the whole game was an amazing feat. So I had to give Bergman at least the 1 vote. After that, on a Friday night, we had the Brisbane versus Sydney game. Sydney did play pretty well till about a quarter and a half. And it almost looked like, to be honest, that Sydney could actually pull this game out and take a big scalp and maybe get the season back on track. But late in the first half, Sydney's gave away, I think, 2 or 3 50-metre penalties, which just gave Brisbane the momentum, and they looked like winning throughout the rest of the night. They only did win by 16 points in the end, but nonetheless, they did play... Brisbane definitely got their season back on track after 2 losses in a row to Adelaide and Hawthorn either side of the bye. So, Brisbane... And to be honest, the scoreboard did flatter Sydney. Brisbane had, I think, 11 more scoring shots, so they should have won this game by a whole lot more. So, but nonetheless, the 3 votes I gave to Oscar McInerney, 2 votes I gave to Zach Bailey, and the 1 vote I gave to Harry Cunningham. Now, Oscar McInerney was massive in the ruck. He was just giving pure service to all the Brisbane midfielders, and I think that Tom Hickey's got a little bit of work to do. I know he came back from an injury, but McInerney was really, really good, and I think that Sydney need the first touch, as we've said, maybe because they're not playing very well in the midfield this year. And if they're not getting first service, they're getting dominated in the midfield every week. Zach Bailey was brilliant in this game. Definitely brought Brisbane back into the game late in the first half. He kicked 2 goals, 3. But, he should have kicked a lot more. But he definitely played very well in this game. And I think he was Brisbane's best small player of the game, like midfielder and that. And the 1 vote, I did give to Harry Cunningham. Pretty similar to how Bergman in the last game got the 1 vote. This is amazing from Harry Cunningham. He kept Charlie Cameron to 0 goals. He kept him to about 7 touches the whole night. And he's been the best small forward of the comp this year, Charlie Cameron. And for Harry Cunningham to lock down Cameron and keep him with no influence on this game was a massive game from him. So I had to give him a vote for that. After that, we get to Giants versus Fremantle. This was a pretty big game for Fremantle because they had to stay in touch with the 8. And the Giants just overpowered them. Freo did not look like they wanted to play any sort of defensive pressure on this game. And to come out 70-point winners against Fremantle was a massive win for the Giants. And I think, I've said this a few times, and I know my brother has as well, Jackpot Junkies. By the way, sorry I haven't mentioned this, but he's got work the next couple of days, so I had to get the podcast out. So he should be back next week. But we've been saying that Adam Kingsley's definitely the coach for the Giants, and they could make a late push through the finals, the Giants. I don't think they'll make it, but if they keep on winning these games, they're looking very good for the rest of the season. They've got a very good midfield. I think they could definitely... They're definitely going to be one of those teams that will keep the top 8 teams honest. So you won't be able to just bank a win against the Giants this year. But nonetheless, the 3 votes. 3 votes to Josh Kelly, 2 to Riccardi, and the 1 vote to Toby Green. Now, 3 votes to Josh Kelly. He was massive in this game. 30-plus touches. He kicked 3 goals as well. That's just a midfield performance that you love to see. He's been out for the past month through injury, so he was a big inclusion for the Giants in this match. And I do think that the Giants could definitely use a lot more goal-kicking midfielders. They probably don't get enough service out of their midfield, and I think that's the next step for them. And Josh Kelly, being such a lethal user of the ball, if he can start getting some goals as well, he can definitely push this team back into finals contention in the next few years. Now, Riccardi was very interesting. He's been out of the team for a lot of this season, but the last few weeks he's definitely grown into a key forward that the Giants can definitely utilise. He kicked 5 goals in this game, and if it wasn't for Kelly having a massive game, he would have been 3 votes by far. And the 1 vote, Toby Green, arguably the best player of the year so far, outside of maybe Zach Butters, and maybe that's about it. Toby Green has been massive. He kicked 4 goals yet again, and the Giants are going to be a hard team to beat this season. I don't think, and they're a good team to watch too. So if Adam Kingsley can get that defensive pressure, which they haven't really seen since really the inauguration of this club, they've been a pretty team. But if he can add some grunt to him, like Tom Green can bring, and they can bring that along, I think they're definitely a chance in the next couple of years to really skyrocket. After that, we get to Richmond versus St Kilda. This was a massive game for Richmond and the Saints, really. Richmond, it was a wet game. It was a really dirty sort of football game. But Richmond did get away with it in the end. St Kilda had their chances in the final quarter but couldn't convert. And led by Tim Taranto, Trent Cotchin, Dustin Martin, Nick Vlosten, there were a lot of players for Richmond who played really well in this game. And they're kind of pushing towards the finals now. They've won 3 in a row. They're definitely going to be like the Giants. They're going to keep the top teams honest. And they could definitely push towards the 8 if those players can keep their form as well. They were massive. Now, the 3-2-1 votes, I gave Taranto the 3 votes. He was massive. Trent Cotchin, I gave the 2 votes, and the 1 vote I gave to Dustin Martin. Tim Taranto was massive in this game. Got 38 disposals, a lot of clearances, kicked the ceiling goal. Massive game from Tim Taranto, and he's definitely pushing himself for a Brownlow. I know that some people will say that he doesn't have the best disposal efficiency, and I get that. But I don't think that's his role. I mean, Paddy Dangerfield has been known as the best player in the AFL not the best player, but he won a Brownlow a couple of years ago, 2017, I believe. And I mean, he didn't have the best disposal efficiency by far, but he gets the ball out of the middle and he gets the clearances. And sometimes it's not going to work, but sometimes it will. And that's what he's there for Richmond. And I think he's been a very good recruit this year. Probably been the best recruit of anyone. Trent Cotchin was massive in this one. Kicked a couple of goals and was just massive in the middle. He had about 29 touches. He's sort of brought back the form that we've seen in previous seasons. People may have said his career was done, and I was probably one of them. But in the last month or so, he's definitely brought back that grunt that Richmond have definitely needed. And the 1 vote went to Dusty Martin. He's definitely bringing back his form that what he's missed previously. I'll be interested to see where they play him for the rest of the season. He didn't kick a goal in this game. I think he kicked 3 behind. So, nonetheless, Dusty was very good in this one as well. After that, we get to Carlton versus the Gold Coast. And Carlton finally break the 6-game drought. They finally got a win against the Gold Coast Suns at the MCG on Sunday afternoon. Do I think Carlton are back? No, by any means. I don't think they are. I think that they should be winning this game at home against the Gold Coast, who really haven't proven themselves in Victoria in the past. A 10-goal win is pretty good, and I would like to quickly say that Adam Chera was massive in this game, and this was a game that Carlton fans would want to see from him, not getting 35 touches and having no influence. He had a massive game in this one, and I think I mentioned last week that he's one of the most overrated players in the AFL. I don't know if he saw that from me, and I didn't. I know that sound a bit mean, but I mean, I think he has been pretty overrated this year, and I don't know why people keep on saying that he's playing okay and being Carlton's best. Maybe he's been Carlton's best, but they're not exactly playing that good of football to have a best player right now. But nonetheless, he played really well. So the 3-2-1 votes, 3 votes I gave to Adam Chera, 2 votes to Paddy Cripps, and the 1 vote to Sam Doherty. Adam Chera, like I said, was massive in this game. He only had about 25 touches, so I don't actually think he reached his seasonal average. But he kicked 2 goals. He had a lot more influence on this game. And I think this is the footy that Carlton fans want to see from Chera. They wouldn't want to see a 35 possession game and having no influence on the game. They want to see him have 25 touches. And if they can start getting some goals out of their midfield, they could have a pretty good second half of the season, Carlton. And speaking of midfield goal kickers, Paddy Cripps was massive in this game. He kicked 3 goals. And to be honest, their key forwards in Mackay and Curnow didn't have a huge influence on this game. I know Mackay did kick 3 goals, but Curnow only got 1. So 4 goals between them guys. They needed their other players to chip in, and these midfielders did. I mean, they kicked 18 goals in the end. So 14 goals came out of other avenues than just Mackay and Curnow. So if they can find different avenues towards goal, Carlton, they're definitely going to have a better second half of the season. And the one vote I gave to Sam Doherty, I think he's been quite down for this last 6 weeks especially. And he definitely has lifted in this game. I don't know if they're going to keep on playing him in the midfield. I still think he's a defender. But at this stage, I think that he definitely had a good game in this one. And finally, we get to North Melbourne versus the Bulldogs. Now, North Melbourne, I think, actually did pretty well to stay with the Bulldogs all day. Because, I mean, the amount of goals that they were getting from other avenues other than Norton and Ugle-Hagan was actually pretty impressive from the Bulldogs. Obviously, coming off a 3-game losing streak, they needed to pull this game. And yet again, kind of like Carlton, I don't think this proves much for the Bulldogs at the moment because, I mean, they should be beating North Melbourne every day of the week. But, I mean, the 21-point win is good enough. And, I mean, the 3-2-1 votes, 3 to Cody Waitman, 2 to Marcus Bontempelli, and the 1 vote to Tim English. Waitman had to get the 3 votes here. He kicked 6 goals, career high, was massive for the Bulldogs this game. Bontempelli nearly beat him, though. He did get 3 goals in this game, Marcus Bontempelli, 25 plus disposals, 11 tackles as well, I believe. So, Bontempelli was massive in this game, and he's if not one of the Brownlow favourites right now, he's definitely an All-Australian midfielder and could also be the captain of this.
Alright guys, we're back for the second half. Can you see it? Yep. Umpire's ready to bounce the ball. The second half is ready to go. Melbourne lead it by 1 point. In the ruck, got a little tap down there with Stanley and sock it away there nicely. Geelong, they get the full forward, does well, they're close. They had a really good first half. And now inside the forward 50, does well, made it, thumps it away. Coming through though is Brayshaw, gets the kick out towards the wing. Will be turned over though, but Stewart left it behind. And now Melbourne can cause the turnover. Jordan out wide to Hunter. He snaps across his body, good read there from Henry. And now Pickett had a good highlight in the first half. Didn't really do much else though. And then Van Rooyen, happy to see it out of bounds on the broadcast side. So yeah, both sides need a win tonight. Melbourne to keep in touch with the top 2. Geelong to keep in touch with that top 8. Who do you think needs it more?
I think the Cats do.
Yeah, I do too, to be honest. I think the Cats, if they want to keep in touch with the finals. Little tap down there from Grundy coming through with Hunter. Whistles has been called and Petrarca will get the free kick.
Yeah, he's there.
He's been very frustrated in the first half.
Yeah, it was a very frustrating first half for him.
He drives it long inside the forward 50. Gorn in front, couldn't mark it. Van Rooyen knocked it away from Chandler. But then Cole Jasny went to fend off. He could be in trouble here. Probably should have been.
Something.
And then Viney drags down Bewsby a ball up.
Should have been paid something then.
Very inconsistent tonight with the umpiring. Umpire throws it up once again inside the forward 50. Blitzard's little tap down it. Spills out to Petrarca. It wasn't clean enough though. Atkins tries to get in there. Spills out to Hunter. He spun out of trouble. Back to Petrarca now. Sends a high ball towards the top of the goal square. Well done there from Van Rooyen to cause a contest. Smith couldn't gather it. Great work from Van Rooyen to get it out to Chandler. That should be a high one. Breaks past Cade Chandler. He'll take the advantage. And they have paid it.
Yeah.
They don't usually pay them.
Normally they don't, but...
Do you think that was play on?
No, I don't think it should. That's pretty... I think Chandler has every right to be angry at that.
The amount of times teams just do that.
The amount of times it takes 5 or 6 seconds to do it.
Back inside the goal, near the goal square for Melbourne. Tackled down there, Gawn did nicely, but only as far as Geelong. They get a clearing kick, but it's going to be coming back. Grundy, great smarts there from Brodie Grundy. Instead of blazing away to the top of the goal square once again, just worked a short ball to Lockie Hunter on the perimeter of 50. I think that was a very good play. They haven't done enough of that Melbourne tonight. Just lowering the eyes.
That's what they have
blazing
to do.
away.
Because they don't have the big, tall targets. That's what they have to do.
So Lockie Hunter, instead of going for goals, sets it up to the top of the goal square. Grundy from behind tapped it away. In fact, it was Joel Smith. Immediately met abused by Gawn. It'll be another stoppage. So Melbourne had all the territory early in this third term. Gawn in the ruck. Stanley gets it out somehow. Almost under the legs against Duncan. Holmes couldn't gather it. Now Brayshaw, head down, gets the ball out. Out to Langdon. He can't gather it though on the bounce. Worked hard there, Brayshaw, to get back onto it. Jordan works it out towards the back to Rivers, who sends a high ball to the top of the 50. Chandler couldn't mark. Blitzard's great spoil away. Stengel couldn't gather it either. Holmes little off the ground ball to Hawkins, who wasn't paid the 15, but they're away here, Geelong. He works it forward to Myers. He works it out wide. Great kick to Gary Rowan. Had a brilliant first half. Gary Rowan gets to 40, charges home, and Geelong take the lead back. Great finish from Gary Rowan. Geelong take the lead for the first time in this second half.
Yeah, they just...
Well, they broke it open.
Yeah. Opened it up.
Melbourne weren't set up defensively, and Myers, goal assist leader of the comp at the moment, hasn't kicked many goals himself, but has been setting up so many teammates. He's found himself on his own in the middle of the ground, and Gary Rowan's got two.
Yeah, there was just no defensive structure by the D's, and
Yeah.
once it got going, there was no hope for him.
Yeah, just a little bit too easy, to be honest. Just as it got out here to Hawkins, it was only Stephen May, and Stephen May, he had the option of going or staying. I mean, I get why he went back, but obviously was never going to stop this. I think probably he should have gone at Gary Rowan to put the pressure on him. We're back in the middle now. Little tap out there probably to Stanley, then just thumps the ball 15 metres off the ground from the fist. Tui left the ball behind. Viney handballs it back into trouble for Salem to deal with. He gets dragged to ground, eventually gets it back. Does well to spin out of trouble. Then gets an underground kick towards the wing. It's a one-on-one Duncan and I think it's Jordan. He couldn't get it out though, Jordan. Eventually does. Handballs it towards the boundary line. Langdon and Myers fight for it. Myers did well. Tackled by Petrarca. He works it out to Atkins and now Isaac Smith. On the left boot. Kicks it towards the forward 50. But a free kick's been pulled out here to Geelong. That was poor. Against Jake Lever, I believe. It'll go to Brad Close. Why did he do that? He didn't have to hold him.
No point. They had pretty much had it there.
Yeah, he had all the space there. I think it was Rivers or maybe May, and he just gave away a free kick. So now Close goes to the pocket, and a great mark from Stanley.
That just uncontested.
Yeah, that was.
He had an easy run at it.
Considering Melbourne had no forward structure in like the first quarter and a half, they've got no defensive structure at the moment.
They haven't really started to set the defensive structure at the moment.
So Reece Stanley, Premiership ruckman. Early in his career was at the Saints. A lot of his career at Geelong. Been in and out of his team. Cemented his spot late last year. He comes in, Reece Stanley around the body, hits the post. Another behind for Geelong.
You want that back.
Yeah. He took it off. He didn't even really take a step in. When you got 10 metres of space, you work into it. So now, Melbourne work it through hands. Brayshaw out to Fritsch, I believe. No, it wouldn't be Fritsch. It'd be Neil Bullen. Dragged down. So just inside the centre square here. 5-point lead to Geelong. Only goal of the second half so far. Grundy just drags Stanley down. We're a little bit lucky there. Petrarca gets it out to Brayshaw. He gets it back to Petrarca. Working hard as always. Did well to dig a handball out of there. And now Viney on the right boot. Not the usual foot for him, and that's probably why. Cut it straight off by Kolodjasny.
Yeah. It's not.
Yeah, it wasn't a very good kick, but you don't really see Viney using his right foot very often. So now Kolodjasny works it out wide. Hibberd probably gives away a free kick there. Geelong take the advantage here through Stengel. He's run towards about 55 metres out. Great pressure there from McVie to corral him. He sends a high ball towards the pocket. Henry! Wasn't paid.
Ooh.
Don't know. We'll have to probably see the replay of that.
It looked like he's taken it, hasn't he? No,
maybe not.
You could have been called for a tunnel there.
Yeah.
You could have been called for a tunnel.
Got a little bit unlucky, Ollie Henry. Hasn't seen much of the ball tonight. So forward pocket here for Geelong. Ball comes in, just a little tap down there, I think was Hawkins. And then May clearing ball towards the boundary, goes out on the full. So it'll be coming back pretty quickly here through Reece Stanley. Oh, what? Oh, it was touched. Okay. Who touched it? Must have been touched off the kick.
It didn't look like it.
Yeah, I didn't think it was either. I thought it was just a clearing ball that went out of bounds on the full. But nonetheless. About 2 good kicks away from goal here for Geelong. Grundy probably missed that tap. Goes out to Myers. He gets a handball out wide to Smith, who just gets it on the boot. Trickles towards the forward 50. Lever gives it off to Viney. Now Langdon. Working through hands here, Melbourne.
Oh.
McVie.
Don't know what
gives it off to
Blitzar's
him.
doing.
Don't know about Blitzar. Just put an opponent down behind play. And now Melbourne working forward through Langdon. Up goes Pickett. Free kick has been given away here through Joel Smith. Again, another unnecessary free kick.
Yeah.
It was a 2-on-1 in Melbourne's favour and they just give it away. So now Stewart. Always patrolling that defensive 50. Great work there from, Bailey Fritsch. He's got been held there. Should get the free kick.
Oh,
Umpire didn't pay it. Now Chandler on the ground. Gets it out through Neil Bullen. And now Viney does well to get it back to Neil Bullen. He works into the middle of the ground. Gives off the handball to Gawn. Back to Neil Bullen. He's all over the place at the moment. And now Sparrow from 50. Kicks a high ball towards the pocket. Probably wasn't the right option. Stewart easily spoils that one away. And it's out of bounds.
That wasn't the kick.
I don't know about going to Pickett on his head. He should have gone to the top of the goal square. Stewart's going to spoil that away every day of the week against a smaller opponent. If you're going to kick it to Pickett inside the forward 50, you kick it low. So now, we've been inside the forward 50 here. Van Rooyen taking the ruck duty here for Melbourne. Blitzars does get the tap down. Hunter tries to shrug the tackle, but great pressure there from Geelong. Bring him down for a ball up.
Viney's really started well in this third quarter.
It was massive in the game, the King's birthday game last week. Obviously won the medal as well. Now Bruin spins out of trouble, tries to get past Hunter. Good pressure though, so he just has to send a high ball down the wing. Lever did want to get the hand up to spoil it away. Gawn works it back to May. May works it out wide with a great kick. And he finds Sparrow on the wing. I thought he was going to kick it over his head, but that was a really good kick from Stephen May. So he works at long ball. Spoiled away there nicely was Stewart. He gathers it though. O'Connor down the wing. Great spoil away there from Petty. Another boundary throw in.
No, another free.
Oh, it's a free kick here to Geelong.
Another unnecessary free kick against Melbourne.
Henry works it in short. He finds Brad Close. So about just outside 50 here, Close. Had a really good first half. Works it inside. He finds Duncan. Always a great ball user, Mitch Duncan. So he plays on now. Looking towards the pocket, but then drills it back inside. Great read, though, from McVee. He takes the mark.
Very underrated so far this season, McVee.
Yeah, he's kept his spot in this team for quite a while. He's done really well.
Yeah. Another poor kick outside there.
Yeah. So now Duncan will take the kick once again. 60 out from goal. Again, they're just all circling around the top of the goal square and work to kick trying to find Hawkins in the pocket, but Petrarca cuts it off. He now plays on, drives a long ball towards the wing. DeConey couldn't mark, and now Brayshaw on the ground. Works a short ball inside. They're away in Melbourne. Chandler doesn't have too many options, though. He holds it up. Probably should have worked it out. I thought maybe
he should have went the other way.
But now Gawn in the middle of the ground, almost got dragged down, just got the handball away. So Melbourne work it out towards the outer wing. McVee off to Langdon. He works it over the top, back to McVee, who kept going. He immediately goes McVee. Didn't have much any options, so he just works it inside to Rivers in a 3-on-1. Did really well, Trent Rivers. Kept the hands free. Now Neil Bullen on the Telstra logo, who works it out wide to McVee. Short ball, great kick, finds Pickett. That went 10 metres, but whatever. We've seen a few of them being paid as marks tonight. But great work from McVee. Like you said, he's done well to keep his spot in the team.
Yeah.
Been in there all year. And did very nicely with that kick there. Just little chiseler down to Keziah Pickett, who had a brilliant goal kicked in the first half, but other than that, was really unsighted. If he can come into this game, Melbourne will be hard to beat. He is caught right up in the right forward pocket here. Tough for a right footer. Pickett comes in, kicks towards goal, left it out to the right, and he's just kicked a point.
Oh, just.
That's what the umpire says anyway. We can disagree. The 10 behinds for Melbourne tonight. We've seen teams this year lose games courtesy of poor goal kicking. Not the easiest conditions, but got to convert on the scoreboard if you can. Stewart drives a long ball. Well on there from Petty out the back. Coming through there nicely was O'Connor. Kept it in. It did nicely. Myers gathers it. Little kick in board. Just cut off there nicely from May. Gets a spoil onto it, but only goes as far as Atkins, who gets the ball towards the top of the 50, but it's all Melbourne there. Oh, Gawn's dropped the sitter. Isaac Smith just missed the ball. McVee takes the tackle. He'll be gone here. Close drags him down. It's holding the footy. Max Gawn.
Ruckman.
That's the worst thing he's done in about, 8 years? Max Gawn, he dropped an absolute soda. I mean, that's really... You got to give... I mean, look. You give him one mistake every 8 years, Max Gawn, but that was really costly.
Such a crucial moment in this game, too.
Yeah. But a chance here for Brad Close to get his first goal. Had a brilliant start of this one. Was leading disposal getter on the ground at half-time. He comes in, Brad Close, leaves it out to the right-hand side. It comes back. Won't make the distance, eventually spoiled through.
Yeah.
So another behind. This one going to Geelong. God, that was a terrible drop mark from Max Gawn. We were just shocked. We were like, oh no, he's dropped it.
Yeah.
So now working through the defensive goal square is Stephen May. Sends a high ball towards Max Gawn. Couldn't mark it. Bowes gets the kick outside the boot. Working it forward there nicely. There was Rowan. Now Myers gets the handball away to Close. Close with the handball over the top. Just miss Hawkins. And then handball towards the boundary line. This will be an interesting call. Couple of Melbourne players there.
Yeah, it's just they're not playing the right way. I don't think Melbourne at the moment.
Yeah.
They're in this wet weather. Like,
oh, why is it not updating? I was wondering that.
It's wet weather. They're playing one to one handball kick ratio.
Yeah, so you got to start kicking the ball forward.
Yeah.
Close, handball off to Atkins, and now Bruin in the pocket. Tanner Bruin hit the belly of the ball, so it goes across the goals. Tui couldn't mark. Great spoil away there from Langdon. Now Rowan works it back nicely to Duncan. Duncan went about a 4 metre kick, got it smothered though. Neil Bullen almost taken without it. Gathered there by Tui. Handballs it inside. Great handball. Finds Smith, and now Henry gets it back inside. Gets it touched. Petrarca eventually kicks it away into the middle of the ground. Van Rooyen did nicely. And now Melbourne can go. Chandler to Pickett. Did well to break the tackle. Back to Chandler. They've got the overlap here, Melbourne. If they could just get a clean handball, they're away. Jordan couldn't gather it, though.
To
Koning just couldn't gather it either. Well done there from Pickett to surge it forward. Stewart working hard. Pickett looking for the free, didn't get it. In fact, it's Henry, who sockers it towards the boundary line.
It's going to be
Interesting decision.
No. Tui got there just in time.
Yeah, I think he was looking for the boundary line there, Jack Henry, but he got a bit lucky that Tui just got over there.
Maybe a bit of sympathy for the weather.
Yeah, maybe. Just outside 50 for Melbourne. Gawn gets it down to Langdon. Sends a high ball inside the forward 50. To Koning going back. Gets a two-handed spoil. Not much onto it though. I'm just looking for the boundary line. Lucky that Guthrie was there to take it over because that could have been deliberate too.
Yeah, it's been
very congested third term. I only see one goal from it from Geelong. Both teams missing their opportunities as well. I've only seen 9 goals from both sides. 19 behinds. A couple of goals that haven't made the distance. Van Rooyen taps it down. Coming through there was Sparrow. Great smother there for Melbourne. Trickles out to Koning, who sends the ball to defensive 50. Should be a free kick into Rivers.
Yeah.
That's definitely there. Front on contact against Myers. Rivers been good. Been a bit quieter though in this third term. Still 8 minutes to go. We've seen a lot more of the later in quarters that the goals start to come. Up goes Van Rooyen! Brings it down. And a chance here for Melbourne to get back in front. That's really the first time tonight a ball going inside the forward 50 for Melbourne to a contest has actually been marked.
Yeah, that's the first time it looked threatening.
What it was, though, was a lot lower.
Yeah.
It wasn't just one of those high balls where they just put it on back Gawn's head or Van Rooyen's head.
Yeah.
It was a ball that was put on top of the defender's head, made the Melbourne attackers run towards it, get a jump at it, and Van Rooyen brings it down. From 25 metres out, Van Rooyen comes in and Melbourne are back in front. He's been a revelation, this young man, this season. And Melbourne get back in front down at GMHBA Stadium. Well, it may not be the prettiest game of football, but I think it's going to go right down to the wire, this one. I think this one's gone right down to the wire here. This is getting very, very close.
Recently, these games have been really close.
Yeah, we've seen Zach Tui kick a goal on the siren and Max Gawn kick a goal on the siren. Yeah. Same ground as well. So we'll see what happens as the game gets towards the end of it. But see that kick from Rivers. It was a low ball inside the forward 50.
But if you look, Henry, he just let him have the jump and leap at it.
Yeah.
He just let him do it.
One thing you can't let Van Rooyen do is have a free run and jump, and that's what he did.
He'll want that,
He'd like that play back again there. Henry, little tap down there from Gawn, just left it behind. Blitzars gets it inside the forward 50. Long ball towards Henry. Players get collected there. Coming through was Isaac Smith. That should be holding the ball. He dropped it. Wasn't paid. Stengel off the ground to himself. Couldn't gather it. So Langdon gets it out to McVie. He just sockers it out of the defensive 50. He'll be coming back though. Atkins turns Petrarca inside out. But then only go as far as Salem. And now Langdon. He gets the ball outside the defensive 50. Up goes Van Rooyen. Didn't get the free kick for it.
No.
Unrealistic attempt against Van Rooyen. Will go to Geelong.
Yeah, that's a very... Yeah, I don't know.
I'd like to look at that one again, to be honest. So now O'Connor drives it back inside the forward 50. Up goes Lever. Does take the mark just.
Yeah. And that's why he should have been doing it 5 minutes ago when Max Gawn dropped it. That's why he's the intercept marker.
Yeah. He gives off the handball. And now they're working through the middle of the ground in Melbourne. Up to Fritsch in a one-on-one. Did what to cause a contest on the ground. Henry couldn't gather it. Fritsch just taps it back into the passage of Pickett. And then Stanley gathers it, kicks it back into the congestion. Eventually grabs it. Tackled well there from 2 Demons. It'll be another stoppage. So 6 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 1 point lead to the Demons. 1 goal each in this third term. Gorn knocks it down to Sparrow. Immediately met by Atkins. It'll be play on somehow. I don't know why the whistle wasn't blown. Tui gets the ball and gets tackled by a couple of Demons. I don't know why that took so long to call.
I don't know.
I was waiting for him to call a throw up, but maybe he was looking for a holding the ball. Blitzards gets it down to Atkins. Tackled well there from Sparrow. Be another stoppage.
Bit of a stalemate in this quarter, really.
Yeah, both teams really holding strong here in defensive. Little tap down there from Stanley. Gets a clearance, though, gone towards the top of the 50. This should be marked nicely here from Zach Guthrie.
He's done a couple of nice things, Guthrie, in this game.
Yeah, he's been very good this season, too. And late last season as well. He took a very long time to come along.
Yeah.
It always seemed like maybe it wouldn't come for him, but last few years he's been brilliant in defensive 50 there for Geelong. Rivers works it out wide to Hunter. Great little step there from Hunter. Gives it back to Petty, and now Rivers working forward nicely. Melbourne working it through hands. Just got to the toes there of Viney, but he works it forward. Be interesting bounce. Guthrie did nicely. Gives it off to O'Connor. Great play there from Guthrie, just to give the clean hands out.
Oh.
Sparrow probably should have marked that. Did well to work back onto it. Close drags it under him. Umpire will see if this is an interesting call. That'll be a ball up. Yeah, again, just Melbourne, too many handballs. Just got to get it forward in these conditions. No handballs. I mean, that had to be a perfect handball to Viney inside and it hit his toes. Sparrow gets a little tap down, finds Jordan, who sends a high ball towards the top of the 50, coming through. All players missed it. Neil Bullen just spikes it forward. Pickett will get there first. Charging towards goal. Keziah Pickett nails it. Melbourne, for the first time tonight, take a 7-point lead. It's their highest lead of the match. And Melbourne give it a little breathing space.
When you see Pickett on the run, you just pray he misses, really.
Yeah, that was really well done there from Melbourne. That's it, though. They didn't Neil Bullen didn't grab that ball and look for a handball. He just spiked it forward.
Yeah.
In these conditions, just spiked the ball forward. And there was enough space inside the forward 50 that Pickett could work into it. And a nice goal there. Melbourne have 7-point lead now.
Yeah, if I'm Geelong, I'm going to Atkins and saying, get on Petrarca. He seems to be let go of him for a bit so in this quarter.
Yeah, he's just getting the ball out of the clearances, and he's done really well.
Yeah.
But again, Pickett's getting into it a little bit as well. He's already had a couple of shots. He's had a shot earlier at goal.
Yeah.
And that one there, he's getting a little bit into this one. If he can get dangerous, Melbourne are going to be hard to beat. And now Gawn as well, he's lifted. He's gone into the middle of the ground. He gets the clearance here, again, top of the 50. Up goes Sparrow, couldn't mark it. Stewart gets a little tap back to Guthrie. But then Neil Bullen meets Blitzars, gets out the handball. Atkins to Holmes, sends a crazy ball down the wing. And McVie did nicely against Bose, and then left it behind. Viney, great pick-up in the conditions. Handball over top to Langdon. He works it back inside to Viney. Just couldn't gather it, though. Great tackle there on Neil Bullen. Stengel being very quiet since early in the game. Sends a high ball towards the wing. Great body there from Hawkins. Tapped down nicely from Henry, but he missed him. Gets a nice little bounce, though, Hawkins. And he just drives it forward inside the forward 50. It's a one-on-one here, Rowan. He does nicely to work onto it, then kicks it back inside. Great kick. Great spoil, though, from Hunter. That was desperate. Then off to Stanley, gets the gather. Over to Myers, and now working it inside nicely was Geelong getting it forward. And now they have it 40 metres out, courtesy of Ollie Henry. So it looks like that maybe Brodie Grundy could be subbed out here with some sort of injury because Charlie Spargo has currently got the jacket off and Grundy's been on the bench for 14 minutes. That'd be big at the moment. Meanwhile, Ollie Henry, about 45 metres out. He's holding that right goalpost and it fades late, goes through for a behind. You were calling a goal, weren't you?
Oh, yeah.
You thought that was fading in.
He normally gets
the right to left.
Yeah.
He got the left to right that time, though.
And if he just hasn't got into the game, Ollie Henry, he needs to get
into it. He's been quiet tonight. And he needs to too, because Jeremy Cameron obviously getting out is big. Colin Jasny gets met well by Joel Smith, be another stoppage. Centre wing right now. If Melbourne can get maybe 1 or 2 more goals late in this third term, it's going to make it hard for Geelong. Next goal's big. Gawn gets the tap out wide. Great read there from Bose. Gets the kick towards the wing. That's going to be deliberate.
Surely that's deliberate. Surely.
Yeah. Umpire was right on it. Paid that one deliberate. Don't know about that
looks
option from Jack, but
when
come
he-
on, boys.
Yeah, I don't know what because the way he looked, he kicked it. He's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna kick it long." Not even look.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why he's even shrugging his shoulders. Like, that is obviously
Yeah.
deliberate. So now Lever drives a long ball down the wing. Up goes Gorn, couldn't gather it. Spargo is on the ground now, so it's bad news, it looks like, for Grundy. Blitzars gathered it, but then dragged it back in, and it'll be a ball up. So Spargo is on the ground. We'll have to see who comes off. No, the Grundys came on the ground now. So someone else has been subbed off. Stanley knocks it down. Coming through was Blitzars. Couldn't get rid of it. Viney tries to gather it. One on there from Bruin. Just hit the ball forward 10 metres. Couldn't gather it though with Stengel. And now Petrarca out to Sparrow. He gets it on the right boot. Drives it towards 50. Gets out the back. Van Rooyen falls over. Now Kolajasny dragged down there from Fritsch. And Kolajasny looking for the line and he gets it. So it's James Jordan who's been subbed out. That's kind of surprising. I don't think it's an injury, but you'd think they'd take a tall guy in these conditions.
Yeah, maybe it's just because he has done well tonight, Brody Grundy in the ruck.
Oh, I didn't think it would be Brody Grundy. I thought maybe it'd be Joel Smith. Even though he had a really good first half, he's been a bit quiet in the second half so far. So it'll tap down now, works it out wide to Hunter, who can't get the handball clean to Brayshaw and be a ball in. So 6-point lead to Melbourne, 2 minutes 20 seconds to go. Highest lead of the match for Melbourne has been 7 points. Geelong, I think, had a 2-goal lead earlier in the game. It's been tight since the outset. Tap down there from Stanley. High free kick's been ripped out here and it'll go to Grundy. So he's off the ground for, 13, 14 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he was being subbed out, but he came back onto the ground and seems okay.
He does, he can go a long time on the field, so maybe... Yeah.
Just giving him an extended stay on the bench, especially when Max Gorn's playing really well in there too. He works out the back. Smith tries to get his hands under it. Spargo gets it from Chandler. He gets dragged down from Duncan. It'll be another stoppage.
Duncan started done really well in the last 2 quarters.
Yeah. He's probably been Geelong's best at the moment, to be honest, up there with close. So now Holmes holds up Viney. It'll be another stoppage.
But I think Holmes is one that does need a lift.
Yeah.
He started well, he just hasn't got into it after.
Yeah, after quarter time. Little tap down there from Van Rooyen. Coming through was Viney. Snaps towards goal. Jack Viney goes to the pocket and trickles out of bounds.
Geelong fans look for the...
Deliberate, don't get it.
Look for it. Yeah, it definitely wasn't there.
No, Viney's gone towards goal, but nonetheless, 6-point lead, minute and a half to go, Melbourne forward pocket. Next goal is big. If Melbourne can get a late one here, it's going to be really hard for Geelong to get a couple of goals. Not many teams have got multiple goals in a row in this one. Hunter couldn't gather it, gets out the back to Brayshaw, and now he gives it back to Hunter. Steps inboard there, Viney did very nicely. The kick just came off the instep. Coming through was Buse, pushed off of it there from Pickett. He steps back into trouble. Petrarca snaps towards goal. Will it bend enough? He has! No, he hasn't. If he was about 10 metres further out, that would have bent back just in time.
Yeah. But we've seen since that second quarter when he kicked that magnificent goal, Cosy Pickett, he's got into this game.
He's definitely lifted.
Yeah.
He's had to as well. Because Melbourne haven't looked that... I mean, other than Joel Smith in the first half, they look very, very quiet down forward. They didn't have many options. Bailey Fritsch looked out of this game so far. Really isn't going into it. So they needed someone to lift, and Pickett's looking very dangerous. Blitzars goes to the long kick, gets it smothered though. Coming through is Sparrow, couldn't gather it.
Needed to take it,
Works out wide there, Brayshaw. Well, that's almost a throw. Actually, no, probably a good handball. Brayshaw works a long kick out wide. It'll go on the full though. It's 38 seconds. Geelong just have to hold it up here. I don't even think they need to look for a goal here. They need to hold this up because if they concede another one, they're going to be in deep trouble. So now Buse goes long down the wing. Brayshaw almost cut it off. Gathered well by Blitzars. He goes down the wing. Couldn't mark it. There on the ground was Rowan. Now Salem gets the handball away. Couldn't gather it was McVee. Did well. But now Geelong working forward. A chance for a late one. Isaac Smith works it inside the forward 50. Lever left it behind. Hawkins couldn't get the tap free. He did well to surge it forward though. Henry left it behind. McVee goes to ground. He could have got a high one there. Lever from Hawkins. Eventually Hawkins drags him to ground. And with 11 seconds to go, Geelong have a late chance to get a late one. Big chance here for Geelong. 7 points behind. They'd love a late one here. Umpire throws it up. Grundy gets a little tap down, working through his Hawkins. Duncan tries to get it free. Somehow picked that up. There, Hawkins.
That'll be
How did he grab that?
somehow.
He got like the backhand Panther play.
Pretty impressive in the wet like this.
Yeah. Both ruckmen miss it. Free kick. It's been ripped out, and it's going to go to Grundy.
Yeah. It had to.
Yeah, Hawkins pushed him out of it. That's a free kick.
I don't know how he's asking.
That would be 50. That could have been 50.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, a three-quarter time, Melbourne will take a 7-point lead going into it. And they're going to be hard to beat now with the wet weather. The last quarter is going to be huge for both sides. Both teams need this win. But at three-quarter time, Melbourne lead 6-11-47. Lead by the 7 points, 5-10-40 to Geelong. Well, if you had to tip it right now, who are you picking?
It looks like Melbourne. They
They're just playing a little bit better, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it looks like they're like their main players like Petrarca and Viney really worked into that third term.
Yeah. And it's just like they don't seem to have the other players Geelong at the moment.
They don't really look like they have a match win, do they?
No.
Look like Gary Rowan may be able to, but he's been a bit quiet in the second half. Brad Close has been probably one of the best with Mitch Duncan, but they haven't had a lot to go with them. Like Tom Stewart was pretty quiet in that third term. Didn't really have a lot of touches with it. It's just looks like it's just gonna be hard for Geelong to find a match winner because there's no Dangerfield there. There's no Cam Guthrie. You know, there's big balls in their midfield to like surge that ball forward for him. So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, and I think the loss of Jeremy Cameron has.
Yeah, definitely had an impact on their team. Did you hear anything at half time about what any more news about it?
No, I haven't.
No. So you want to maybe check your phone and see if there's anything about it? Sorry, I didn't. Oh. Hold on, that's right. Sorry. So, gonna read through that?
Yeah, so at the end of the third quarter, we had Petrarca with 24 disposals, Viney with 21, as with Close. We had Lockie Hunter with 19 disposals and Christian Salem with 17. And for all the fancy people out there, we had Christian Petrarca on 88, Viney on 81, Mitch Duncan on 73, Lockie Hunter on 71, and Rowan on 69. So I think as we saw in that quarter, that Petrarca just looked to get into the game. Maybe Atkins let go of him at stages, and Viney and just does what he's doing in the last month or so. So he's in career best form, maybe.
Yeah, it looks like there hasn't been any news about Jeremy Cameron at this stage, which hopefully everything's all good. He did go to hospital. That was the last thing we really heard, but nothing. No update to Jeremy Cameron's condition at the moment. So hopefully it's all best with him. Who would you be giving the 3-2-1 votes at the moment?
At the moment, I think you're looking at. I think Lockie Hunter's game's been pretty good for Melbourne.
Yeah.
I'd give him 3, probably Viney 2, and yeah.
I'm probably giving either Rivers.
I think it's out of Rivers and Duncan at the moment for 1.
Yeah. Petrarca did lift in that third term, but he's had 9 clearances, which has been good, especially in this game when they got to surge it forward. His disposal efficiency has helped a lot as well. He's gone up to 70.
He's actually lifted his game. Like you look at Viney, who's had less than 50%. Like
yeah, but I think he has been a little bit better.
Yeah.
I know that's a bit different, but he has been surging. He's been tough in the clinches as well. Oh god, there's 24 nice guys, F boys. Oh, fucking hell! This is why no one watches TV anymore. No fucking Foxtel or fucking. Fucking ugh. Why is this? Is this not updating anymore or what? Looks like it's not working. Wouldn't that be great? No, it's not. It's not that. It's not on it. It's alright. Fucking hell, it's pissing down out there, isn't it? Jesus Christ. We're in Adelaide and it's pissing down tonight. Holy shit. What sort of iPhone is this?
Yes.
I said, what sort of iPhone is this, you fucking twat?
10.
I've got the 10. You got a new one, didn't you?
Oh, 12. It would have
12, okay. Holy shit.
Can't wait to drive back.
Fuck. No. Jesus Christ.
Hopefully this is the worst of it.
Hopefully, but it's been raining all day. You didn't work today, did you? Because I was working in the rain today. It was fucking terrible. So yeah, the fourth quarter's about to get underway. Probably about another minute or two. Melbourne have definitely been playing the better of the two teams. I think they should be a little bit further in front, if I'm being honest.
Yeah,
After quarter time, Geelong have really been well beaten around the ball. But as we see the live ladder right now, if Melbourne win tonight, they sit third and one game off of Collingwood, who have a game in hand. And Geelong lose tonight, they're one game out of the 8 from the Crows, who have a game in hand, and they're 2 games out of the 8 if the Crows go and beat Collingwood. I mean, that's obviously a big game for the Crows, so you're not banking on them winning it, but they've got teams behind them as well. We probably quickly check the ladder, actually.
Yeah, you look at it, like, if Geelong loses, like, I know Brad Johnson came out this week and said that they're not playing finals footy, so he might if they lose this game, it's going to be a huge couple weeks for Geelong.
I mean, they've got the Gold Coast Suns behind them, who have got Hawthorn this week. They've got Fremantle as well, who are definitely chasing hard. They've got Sydney, who they wouldn't jump them because they've got percentage behind them, but if Sydney beat West Coast, which you would expect, then, I mean, they're in it with a chance to get knocked pretty far down, Geelong.
Well, yeah, if you look at it, like, yeah, they've got a pretty good percentage, Geelong, though.
Yeah, they do. All right, guys, we're back for the last quarter. Big last quarter for both teams. Both teams need this win and the ball gets bounced. Stanley gets the ball forward. First clearance of the last quarter. Just socketed off the ground. Salem couldn't gather it. Myers off the Tui. Big chance here for Bruin. Sends a tumble punt towards goal. Ooh. And it goes through for a point. Well, he kicked a tumble punt goal in the first term. Couldn't do much with that one, though.
Yeah, well, this is what they need, Geelong. They needed the fast start. They needed the good clearance, and they needed to,
They just need to surge it forward.
Yeah.
I think I just don't think they were able to get their hands on the ball as much as they could have.
But they are playing the better game style at kicking it instead of
handballing it. Oh, God. The crap out of me. Smith gets the handball out, working through to Buse, and now Tui sends another ball towards the forward 50 in front. Was Henry couldn't mark it. Atkins tried to play the smart ball out wide, but it only goes as far as Salem. Now Melbourne surge it through hands. Langdon off to Petrarca. He kicks a long ball. It'll bounce to Kolajasny, who gets dragged down from Fridge. And it's going to be a dangerous tackle. I don't know about that.
You saw the head bobble.
I don't know about that. I don't think it was there, to be honest. But I don't think it should be paid at all, unless it's like fully looking to injure like the Nathan Broad one. But anyway. He works it out wide and he finds Bruin.
I think if Geelong need Bruin to get back in this game, he had a beautiful first quarter. He was
best on the ground in the first quarter, and he hasn't really. He's only had, I think he had 9 touches in the first quarter. He's only had 7 since. So now drives forward. It's spoiled away back into the middle of the ground, gathered by Buse, spins around and sends another high ball inside the forward 50, and Henry's taken the mark. Well, he's been needing to do this all night, Ollie Henry, and he finally gets up and takes it. I'm assuming he's on your bet from that little shake of the wrist.
Yeah. At the moment.
Just had no hands on him there, Melbourne. He's been really pretty quiet tonight. He's had a couple of moments, but he finally got up. And in these conditions, that's a brilliant mark.
Yeah.
The thing is, the ball would still be a little bit drier because it's early in the quarter.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want to kick a goal, you want to do it now.
Henry comes in, straight in front, drives towards goal. It's all square. We're set for a big one tonight. Great finish from Ollie Henry. Geelong get the first of the last quarter.
Yeah, just what the Geelong had to do. And they've started well.
Yeah, they've surged the ball forward. They're just getting it in there, just giving their forwards a chance. And like that ball there, Ollie Henry didn't have an opponent on him, but he did exactly what he had to do. Get his hands up and take the mark, and he took it well. The most important thing, he converted too, because there's been a lot of players missing tonight. But Ollie Henry finishes nicely. Geelong back level. There's all the rain going after that thunder that skinned the shit out of me. Great mark.
Yeah. Well, as you see there...
He just had the arms like soft, so it wouldn't bounce off his wrists.
Yeah, as you saw, like Stephen May's not near the contest, neither's Lever, and he had a good run at it.
Yeah. So now Geelong get another clearance. Tui gathers it off the soccer. He just jams it on the boot towards the top of the goal square. Couldn't mark it. There was Rowan. Ricochets towards Close. He couldn't gather it either. Henry, great handball to Duncan to get Geelong in front. He gets into the pocket and it rolls out of bounds. Just in front of Hawkins. And a big chance there for Geelong. They've started very dangerous in this last quarter. So Melbourne looking for some answers at the moment. Forward pocket here for Geelong. Umpire lobs it in. Grundy little tap down. Comes off the toes of Atkins. Ricochets to Petrarca, who kicks it out of the defensive 50, but it's coming back. Smith can't mark it, but now Zach Tui around the body. He's got it.
Zach Guthrie does it.
Zach Guthrie kicks Geelong in front. Wasn't around the body, rather. It was a check side kick. Great finish. Geelong are in front. After many would have been questioning them this week, and even in this going into three-quarter time, they've started off very nicely. Zach Guthrie, well, not a known goal kicker, was very, very calm and collected in that moment. That would have been a really good highlight to call then, but fucking I fucked it up. Good on Kelly Underwood, aren't I? Kelly Underwood moment, that one. But a great finish nonetheless from Zach Guthrie. As we've been mentioning tonight, he's been very good this season, very good in the past few seasons, been very important in that back 50. And that's just a great finish.
Yeah.
Inside-outer job around that goalpost.
Petrarca needs to get back into it. And
Yeah.
Viney just...
I think they've definitely locked down Atkins on it
Yeah.
again. They're like, we have to do this again.
Yeah.
Tap down from Stanley. Umpire's called another free kick. It's going to go to Gawn. So Melbourne will finally get this ball forward. Max Gawn's got to lift a little bit as well. He hasn't had much in this fourth quarter so far, very early on. But he was definitely big in that third term. He sends another high ball inside the forward 50. In front was De Koning. He taps it out wide, finding Tui. He can't gather it, but he sockers it towards the boundary line. This will be a hard call. They've ripped it out too. Oh, that was tough. I don't think he meant that. He just missed the ball and tripped on it almost. No, I don't know about that. I don't think he wanted to keep it in, but I can see... Hang on. Oh, no. Okay. No. That's definitely...
He intended to
He put a foot out and kicked it out of
Yeah.
bounds. Great call from the ump. I'll give you that. Sorry. Langdon sets it up inside the top of the goal square. In front was Van Rooyen. Couldn't mark it. It trickles towards Gawn. He gets the ball forward. It's not off the ground.
Nope.
I think it's through for a point. Yeah, it's through for a point. Off Charlie Spargo. This game's going right down the wire, it seems. A little chance there for Spargo. It's going to be all about moments in this last quarter. Spargo couldn't convert his chance. So now Stewart will take the kick-in duties here for Geelong. Drives a long ball towards the broadcast side. Coming up there with Tui, couldn't mark it. Great spoil there from Langdon. Great work there to just surge the ball forward. Pickett taps it over the top. This would be a bit of Hollywood play. Langdon just couldn't gather it.
Beautiful by Dakota.
Great work from Pickett though. He tries to get the ball forward. Hughes, last line of defence as always for Geelong. He works it out wide. Just puts it to the toes of Henry and he taps it behind him. He will get away with that one though. That was great work from De Koning. Saved a certain goal. Langdon looked away, but he just got a hand in there so Langdon couldn't get a free grab at it. And Geelong lived to see another day.
Henry stood up so far in this quarter.
Yeah, he's definitely lifted. They needed him to. He had a pretty quiet first three quarters. He's already kicked a goal on this one. Stanley tapped down. Hunter just slaps it away. Blitzar just sockers it backwards. But now Holmes missed it. Salem breaks past the tackle. Handball was poor though. Myers gets the ball. Little handball over the top to Bowes. Bowes misses it though, and now Melbourne get the football. Hibbard off to Hunter. He sends a high ball towards the forward 50, but great read there from Stewart. He takes the mark. He works it across to Henry. And now Isaac Smith eventually gathers it, kicks it down the wing, but he turns it over. Langdon takes the mark. He plays on though. Kicks it back inside the forward 50, up towards Fritsch. Great ball from behind from Henry. Van Rooyen tackled from behind. That should be holding the ball. Great work from De Koning. That's holding the footy. Big chance there for Geelong. A big chance there for Melbourne. Van Rooyen just a little bit too slow. So now De Koning drives a long ball down the wing to a one-on-one. Lever gets in front. Great pressure there from behind from Henry. And he did well to gather it on the ground. He's been good in this last quarter. That's a throw, though. That's a throw! Oh, they paid one earlier against Jack Viney, which was 100% there, and that one was a throw as well.
Yeah, it's happened, I think, 3 times in this game. They've paid it once.
That's a shit decision. Fucking hell. So Melbourne should have got a free kick there, but it wasn't called a throw, so it just goes out of bounds. Throws it in, Gawn gets the slap down, only as far as Bruin. He gathered it well, gives it off to Holmes, who needs a lift in this last quarter. Kicks it towards the forward 50, Lever decides not to mark it, but now Rivers gathers it on the counter. Kicks it out wide, just out of reach there for Van Roy, and he's happy to see it out of bounds.
Yeah,
Just a little bit unclean there, Melbourne. I know it's a pretty hard kick in the conditions, and yeah, Van Roy, not much you can really do there. It's hard to take a mark with one hand in these conditions with a wet ball. So back in, the umpire throws it. Grundy gets it down, coming through his Bruin, got a high one, he'll get the free kick. Geelong take the advantage. Bose just drives it long towards forward 50. Petty shoves his opponent under the ball. Hawkins works hard back onto it. Great handball out to Holmes. Gets some space. Great shepherd from Rowan as Holmes drives it inside the forward 50. Henry couldn't mark. Great spin there from Hibberd. He works it out to Hunter, and now Melbourne have a little bit of space. Takes a bounce. Don't know about that. Oh no! He's like a bar of soap. He's bounces it on the ground. Nearly slips away from him. Great read from Stewart.
Beautiful mark by Stewart.
And now Geelong working on the outer side, trying to get some space here. He works it out to Buse. He kicks it inside the forward 50 just left it behind there, was close, but let his teammate grab onto it. That was well done there from Isaac Smith. Just kept his feet. Great work from Myers. In the pocket, Brian Myers. Don't know about the slop on the ground kick. Touch through for a behind.
Not the thing to do. Had to go in the air.
Yeah. He had I don't know what he was thinking. He surely saw Harrison Petty there. And the ball's not taking a big, like a high bounce in these conditions. It's going to slide. 6-point lead to Geelong. So Hibberd works it in short. He finds Lever. So Geelong have really well dominated this last term so far, but only have a 1-goal lead to show for it. So now Lever drives a long ball to a 1-on-1. Great work from College Asney.
Couple intercept marks here by Geelong.
Yeah, it's a couple of opportunities that Van Rooyen to let go in this last quarter so far. He's got to lift a little bit. He's been good so far. He's usually a competitor. Drives the ball inside the forward 50. Terrible kick, though. Cut off by Sparrow. So now Melbourne can get him on the counter here. Doesn't have too many options, though. He's just going to hold it up. Still heaps of time in this one. He works it out wide to Langdon, who works it in short. Finds Rivers. And now they go here, Melbourne. Drives a long ball in towards the forward 50. De Koning let it out the back. Melbourne are going to be dangerous now. Pickett. Handballs it over the top to Bailey Fritsch. He runs to 50. Gives off to Neil Bullen, who just fumbled it at the crucial stage. Oh, Melbourne. That was really poor. And now Geelong on the counter. They're away here. He's got some space on the wing here, Ollie Henry. He goes long to a 1-on-1. It's Tom Hawkins. Melbourne are through here. He got an option long. He's got him on the lead here, Tom Hawkins. Great kick to Rowan. He's on 50. Been a little bit quieter in the second half, Gary Rowan. He could definitely have a moment in this last term. He now wants to drive a long ball towards the top of the goal square. Up goes Blitzars! Not known as much of a high flyer, but that was a great mark from Mark Blitzars. And a chance here for Geelong to take a pretty big 12-point lead. Melbourne just mucked this up.
Yeah. He had the right idea there. Just Newport just, I don't know.
Fumbled it.
It was just like a bar of soap for him.
It was great pressure from Geelong as well. Just not giving up on the play.
Yeah.
And then Blitzar's a great mark.
Well,
Big chance here. If Geelong take a 12-point lead now, in these conditions, I think that's a 4 or 5 goal lead. Blitzars comes in, takes a short run up, but it's all he needs. Blitzars kicks the goal. Geelong lead it by 2. Straight goals in this last term. Well, it was desperate defence from Geelong, and they got him on the counter. Melbourne are in a bit of trouble here. The players who lifted in that third term in Petrarca and Gawn and the like, they just haven't, and even Viney to an extent, really haven't risen in this last quarter when they've needed them most.
Yeah, their wingmen, Langdon and Hunter, just haven't got into the game in this quarter.
Yeah. Just really everyone's been shut down at the moment. And, yeah, just it was a little bit unfortunate here Neil Bullen fumbled, though. I mean, with a wet ball, it's going to be a little bit hard sometimes, but just maybe it's just too many handballs. Maybe Fritz should have just quickly gone long. I don't know. It's just really, really unfortunate there for Melbourne. Great work here, though. Gawn knocks it down to Sparrow at the front of the contest. He drives it long inside the forward 50. At the back was Spargo, couldn't mark it. Now Stewart, happy to see the line. And he takes it out of bounds. Umpire calls for a throw in the forward pocket here for Melbourne. Still heaps of time in it. There's still just under 12 minutes. So Melbourne definitely aren't out of it, but with these conditions, they need to find a quick one.
And as you can see, that's brought up the pressure as well with Geelong in this quarter.
Yeah, they really missed it after the full quarter time. Grundy gets it down, couldn't gather it though. Stanley off the ground, pretty dangerous, but actually works out well. Oh, he left it though. Behind there was close. Chandler off to Viney. Just gets the hands free. Couldn't gather it there. I think it was Sparrow, but he couldn't gather it. Sock it away here for Geelong. Hunter will get back first. He gets immediately met by Close. And Geelong are away here. Holmes on the wing. He's got an option over the top. It's Rowan and May in a one-on-one. It rolls inside the forward 50. Rowan gets out the back. Geelong to take a 3-goal lead. Gary Rowan does it. That's big. That is a big goal for Gary Rowan. 3-goal lead. Seems like a huge, big lead in this one. Stephen May just uncharacteristically mucked that up, really.
Yeah, he fell over.
He lost his footing. Gary Rowan did brilliantly. He's got 3 now. And he's been one of Geelong's best tonight. Gets a huge round of applause coming off the ground, Gary Rowan. And Geelong now are going to be really hard to beat. Again, Melbourne just one free handball away from getting a goal.
Well, it's been their problem all this second half. They just keep on handballing it when they don't need to.
If Gary Rowan gets out the back, say goodnight. He nails it through. Tap down there, Stanley. Coming through was Bruin. Tried to back out of it. Probably should have been pinned in the ears. To be honest, I don't think he really got tackled, I'm going to be honest with you. But nonetheless, it's going to be a free kick coming to Viney, it seems.
Oh, they're looking for it. He's not going to get it, though.
No, he's not going to get it. So a free kick here will go to Melbourne into the middle of the ground. Again, they go long with the kick. It's Sparrow. It goes high up to Gawn. It gets out the back, though. Spargo can't get it away. Eventually does. Grundy couldn't gather it cleanly. Now Bose just kicks it out of the defensive 50. Just kicks it to space. Couldn't grab it there, Petty. And Melbourne, Geelong again surge it forward. Close just gets it off the ground a good 30 metres. They're at the back here, Geelong. It goes to Stengel. He works it inside. A chance to almost shut the gate. He goes long. Geelong have got another. Mitch Duncan kicks the goal. They're going to be hard to beat. What a big goal for the Cats. They lead by 4 straight goals.
Wow.
The Geelong of old almost. Again, Melbourne have got a lot of the ball inside their forward half, inside their forward 50 in the past 5 minutes. But just on the counter, Geelong have just been able to score quick goals. And I think it's almost over now. 10 minutes to go, there's still time, but they've got to kick 5 goals now, Melbourne, to get back in front.
I don't think Petrarca's touched it more than twice in this quarter. Viney hasn't got near it. It's just...
Yeah, it's... I really couldn't name a Melbourne player who's done okay in this last quarter so far. Geelong have just lifted. Mitch Duncan's been brilliant tonight, pretty much all night. Gary Rowan's definitely lifted. Brad Close, Tanner Bruin around the middle have been big. Also with Mark Blitzars. I'd almost give Tom Atkins a real crack at votes just on the fact that he's done really well on Petrarca tonight.
Yeah.
So Melbourne really got a lift now. Stanley gets it down. Viney just couldn't get the clearance. Great smother there for Geelong. Myers gives it off to Stanley. He sends a really high ball. Not even really towards forward 50. Great mark there from Brayshaw. They pay it. I really don't know about that, but they paid it. Bose wasn't really complaining too much. They got to go here, Melbourne. Brayshaw works it inside. He finds Salem. They got a player over the top here, Melbourne. The kick isn't very good. He makes Sparrow have to run out wide, but he gathers it though. Takes his space and kicks it long. Long ball towards the top of the goal square. Oh. Grundy was almost held, wasn't paid. It gets out the back. And then Guthrie takes it over the line for another behind for Melbourne.
I think it was Pickett in the pocket. I think he had to go there. Like, Pickett was leading up. He just had to go to Pickett. Just the time.
Yeah.
Not for the big contest.
Especially early in the first quarter, they just didn't have any method going forward, Melbourne. And it worked out, but now, it worked out in the second half, but again, the rain's not really coming down at the moment, and Geelong are taking advantage. Rivers probably got pushed out of that one. He gets the free kick against Myers. So Rivers, 2 good kicks away from goal. Gives off the handball to Langdon. He plays on, in fact, to Tunter. Drives a long ball back inside the forward 50, but it's all Geelong. I don't know about going to Pickett in a 2-on-1 at the top of the goal square. Definitely not the option. Henry just kicks it across goal. A little bit dangerous, but it's okay. So now O'Connor to Stewart. He drives a long ball down the wing. Great read from Lever.
They're getting at the territory.
They've had it pretty much for the last 10 minutes, but the last few goals that Geelong have got just on the counter real quickly.
Yeah.
So now Lever kicks it back inside the forward 50. Gaunt had his jumper held there. No one read it. It'll be another stoppage inside the forward 50 for Melbourne. There's still just under 9 minutes to go. There's still time here for Melbourne, but They just have not looked like scoring in this last quarter. Petrarca's been well shut down by Tom Atkins. He may have had his 27 touches tonight, Christian Petrarca, but I think he's had very little influence on this game.
He needs to get some clearances. He'd had 9 in 3 quarters. He needs to get another one.
Gets it down, Petrarca. Speak of the man, just kicks it through for another behind. He has had a lot of clearances, I'll give him that, but he just hasn't had a lot of influence around the ground.
Yeah.
It's really been in those clinches that he's had those touches. And Atkins around the ground's really locked him down. So now Guthrie will take the kick in here for Geelong. He plays on now and goes long towards the wings or one-on-one. Up goes Grundy from 3 deep, takes it down. Great mark from Brodie Grundy. He's been pretty good tonight. He feigned the kick and then went back inside. Eventually does go long with the kick. Guthrie from behind spores it away. Free kick's been ripped out here. It's going to go to Geelong.
They keep doing the same method they did in the first quarter.
Oh, I don't know about that. Wasn't continuous.
Well, they did pay.
They got very lucky there, Melbourne,
Yeah.
because that was almost continuous there. But nonetheless, Stewart will get the free kick. Yeah, like you said, this is exactly the same as what it's been throughout a lot of the night. How you doing, Mary? Sorry, I forgot your name, man. I'm sorry. I know it's like John or Jake. Not doing too bad, man. Another kick outside the defensive 50. Cut off there from Grundy. He gives it back to Viney on the right boot. Fritsch couldn't mark it. Wasn't really strong enough over it. Guthrie gives it off to O'Connor and now Tui. Gives it off to Close. Geelong have been brilliant in this last quarter. Close goes down the ground. They'll get a free kick downfield here.
Oh, I think it was as the play happened. I think he's unlucky there, Spargo.
So
it's as it happened.
Yeah, that's as it happened. That should have been called back. It shouldn't even been a free kick. Anyway. Nonetheless, Geelong have the ball at half, about just to the forward side of the wing here on the outer side. 22-point leaders, the Cats. They go long now, just inside the forward 50 to a 2-on-2. Hibbert let it out the back though. The handball was poor though. O'Connor just sockets it towards the pocket. Stengel keeps it in, only temporarily, and it goes out of bounds. After a really good start for Stengel, he's actually been well held by McVee.
Yeah.
There's still time for Melbourne, like I've said, but Geelong have been massive in this last quarter. When a lot of people would have thought they would have faded into the night, they really lifted it home for their crowd, keeping the finals hopes alive. Taken out of the ruck from Tom Hawkins. Couldn't get a clean kick away. It trickles towards the pocket. Brayshaw just sockets it off the ground. Great gather from Henry. Works it inside to Bruin. He snaps around on goal to shut the gate. Tanner Bruin kicks the goal.
Well, they kicked that miracle goal in the first quarter and he may have just shut the gate.
Great finish from Tanner Bruin.
Yeah. He may have
He's been, like you said, he had to be good in this last quarter, and he has. He's been massive. And a great finish there from Bruin. 28-point leaders now. I think you can pretty much say this game's all but well and done.
Yeah.
There's still 7 minutes to play. There's still time for him. But to get their 7th win of the season would be massive for Geelong. Currently on the live ladder. They are just outside the 8 on percentage from the Crows. And they keep their finals hopes right alive. Right now, though, if Melbourne lose this one, which, I mean, they're on track to do, if Brisbane go and win this weekend, up against St Kilda tomorrow night, they could be falling down to 4th. And if St Kilda beat Brisbane, if Essendon beat Fremantle, their chance of almost falling out of the 4. Well, not really, but whatever. It's John. Oh, good man, I got you. So now out wide, it works to Stewart. He's just happy to leave it, and he's happy to let it go out of bounds.
Come on.
What's he on at the moment? He's on 88.
I need one more touch.
It's be a bet. Yeah, so currently on the live ladder, they're just outside the 8 on 1% really of the Crows. So Geelong really need to keep going. Little tap down there from Stanley, goes down to Blitzars. He's immediately met by Viney. It's another stoppage. Another ball up. Gorney will tap down. Langdon just couldn't gather it. Salem works it back. Finding Rivers, who just puts a high ball towards the wing. It just stays in bounds. Oh, left behind there from Atkins. Petrarca gathers it. Handles it inside. Finds Sparrow. Sparrow, a little low ball. Great kick. He finds Neil Bullen. They've got to just go here, Melbourne. He wheels around on the right boot and kicks it into the forward pocket. Hands up there was Penny. Couldn't mark it. Petrarca in the pocket to keep the D's alive. He finishes. Don't write him off just yet. Christian Petrarca kicks the goal. That was a good finish.
Yeah.
He's had a lot of touches tonight, but he's had really little influence. A great finish, though.
Yeah, and he's been held really well in this last quarter, so he need.
The champions do rise to the top at stages, and that's a great finish from Petrarca.
He looks like he's staying forward.
I think maybe that's the option against. I know that. I mean, they really haven't done that much in the midfield. In this, I mean, they have won a lot of clearances, but they just haven't been able to lock it inside their forward 50. Maybe sending the superstar and Christian Petrarca down there gives them a real opportunity. I live in a mega mansion. I live in a hole. I'm kidding. We're sitting right now in a 3-degree room watching the footy. Who's the other guy? He's my clone. He's my brother.
He's throwing that there, Gorn.
Gorn gives a little handball out, which may have been a throw off the Sparrow. It'll be another stoppage. Still 6 minutes to play. They need 4 goals, Melbourne, to take a lead. Throws it up. Gorn thumps it forward. Viney will get onto this, but well done there from Stewart to read that well. Couldn't get the little tap far enough. Read well by Langdon. He dropped that. Got very lucky. Dragged down there from Atkins. There was Viney. It'll be another stoppage. So Petrarca now playing forward here for Melbourne tonight. He's had 30 touches. Really hasn't a lot of influence on this game. But he could have a massive moment in the last quarter. Just kicked the last goal. Little tap out there was nice. Gets it out to Isaac Smith. The kick is smothered. Then Lever just runs through like a barrier. Just gets the handball out on as far as Stanley. He works it forward. And now Geelong have it inside their forward 50. It's a one-on-one Rowan. It gets out the back. A chance here. May and Rowan fight for it. We saw this a little bit earlier. May takes the contact. Not looking to get rid of it. And the umpire gives him a reprieve.
He did right there, mate. He did that right.
I think he sat on it. I think he was like, I'm not going in a running race with Gary Rowan. I'm sitting on this. Right contest in the forward pocket. Hawkins taps it towards space with Stengel. Gets tackled without it. And it'll be a ball in. Whoever you call chunkies are very rude. I don't know where he went anyway. So forward pocket here for the Cats. One more goal would win this one here for them. Hawkins taps it out the back only as far as Brayshaw though. He kicks it out of the defensive 50. 2-on-1. Stanley missed it completely. Henry did well though. And now to Koning. Snaps around on the left boot towards the forward 50. Great read though from Rivers. He almost ran that out there, but only gives it away to Neil Bullen. Rivers got put down in front of the play. Langdon gets a good kick forward though. Finds Chandler. Now Melbourne are running forward. This is good football. He finds Fritsch. Fritsch finds a player on top of the 50, but the kick was poor.
Terrible. He had to hit that.
Petty was standing there. He's not very impressed either.
No. Like, Fritsch should know what a forward wants. And he's,
Bailey Fritsch had a pretty dirty night though.
Yeah.
Hasn't had much of the footy. Don't think he's kicked the goal either. Oh, I think he kicked one early.
Yeah, he kicked one early.
Yeah. Little tap down at the back was gone. Couldn't gather it there, Myers. Neither Neil Bullen. Now Sparrow met by Duncan to be another stoppage. So top of the 50 now. Loving the commentating. I appreciate it. Little tap out of the back there. Gorn did nicely to Brayshaw. Langdon did well to Viney. Tries to get a high one. Didn't get it. Then almost threw it away. Myers gives it off to Holmes. And now Isaac Smith. Working it inside. Don't know about that option. It just gets out the back from Salem. And now Stengel. Handballs it over the top. The Buse is going to be met. Just gets a little kick away towards the boundary line. It'll be interesting if the umpire calls this.
Yeah.
I think he probably could have. So 4 minutes, 19 seconds to go. Geelong lead it by 4 goals. We'll lead it by just under 4 goals. So if Melbourne want to win this and steal this win, really, they have to get a couple of late ones now. Gorn gets the thump away. Holmes just got a little tap away to Tui, who kicks around on the right boot. Gets a terrible bounce, Henry. Lever. Handballs it out the back to May. He goes a kick out wide. Just gets to Langdon Hunter on the bounce. He goes with a short kick inside the forward 50, but Bailey Fritsch just waits for it. And sitting like a duck, easy for College Jazzy to thump it out of bounds. Yeah, Fritsch has just had a dirty night.
Yeah.
He should have run at that. Get up and take that mark. You stood flat-footed. And the kick wasn't the best, but you got to run at that ball. Gorn takes it out, kicks towards goal, hits it across the face. It goes to the pocket, and Isaac Smith's happy to tap it out of bounds. I'm surprised you don't have 10 million subscribers. I know, I'm pretty disappointed. We hit 50 a couple of days ago, which was good. So forward pocket now. 4 minutes, just under 4 minutes to play. Melbourne probably need a goal out of this stoppage to get any chance. Umpire throws it in. Gordon's always pretty good in this situation. Looking for the free, didn't get it. Gets it out. In the pocket. Pickett to keep the D's alive! Did they touch that? Oh, only just.
They kick that. It will be an interesting finish, this one.
Another behind, though, for Melbourne. They've kicked 15 behinds tonight. It's probably what's going to cost them in the end. 21 points the difference. Whoop, that's not right. So he goes long with the kick, Henry. Up goes Sparrow. Couldn't bring it down. In fact, it was Rivers. Salem put him on his ass. There was abuse. Petrarca gives it straight to Melbourne, who's immediately met. Kolajasny sends a high ball to Coney. That wasn't 15. He gets it out to Myers, who taps it along to Henry. Immediately met by May. Now Lever steps past Myers. He's about to get dragged down from Gary Rowan. Massive game from Gary Rowan tonight. He's probably won it for his team there. That's pretty much all she wrote.
Yeah, he's from the start of this game. It's just that moment.
You have the guts to do YouTube. I've done YouTube for quite a while, man. Just not on this channel. So now Stewart works it out wide. It just stays inbounds. So now Isaac Smith. He could very well go back and fool the umpire into taking the 30 seconds. And it looks like the umpire's going to let him. So there's still 2.5 minutes to play. Chance now for Isaac Smith. He can be a long kick. Umpire eventually tells him to call him on. He kicks a low ball towards the top of the goal square. Don't know about that option. Brayshaw takes the mark. He goes in short. He gets it back now. Brayshaw from the mark. Doesn't have too many options though, so he has to send a low ball down the wing. And an easy intercept mark there for the Cats. Taken by Mitch Duncan. So with 2 minutes to go, time's ticking down. Has the football now. Duncan sends another ball inside the forward 50. Great read there from Sparrow. Takes the mark. Probably should have been 50, but we'll play on. Nonetheless, Sparrow now wheels around on the right boot, goes long down the wing. Petty sent forward in this last quarter. Hasn't had no impact whatsoever. Buse left it behind, and now Petrarca goes. He has an option long inside the forward 50. It's Bailey Fritsch at the back. He takes the mark just outside from Kolajasny. And Fritsch with 1.5 minutes to go. Can kick a late one. A little consolation prize for him. This will be his second goal. Fritsch comes in, kicks the goal, and Melbourne within 15 points, but it won't really matter.
Yeah, they just need to kick some of those goals in this quarter. They just didn't, and it's cost them.
Geelong got a couple of goals out the back, and that's really where it was won.
Yeah. They had all the territory in Melbourne in this quarter. They've had everything, and they just couldn't put it on the scoreboard.
Yeah. You deserve 10 million? I appreciate it. We really do, don't we, Joe?
Yeah, I think we do pretty well.
I think we deserve 10 million. I mean, I'd be happy with 9. So tonight, Geelong will just be outside the 8 on percentage. Keep themselves alive in 2023. Gorn knocks it down. Eventually gets the handball forward. Almost threw that away. Holmes couldn't gather it. Been pretty good in this last quarter. He works it out wide to Myers. Has some space on the wing. He just works a little kick inside. It was actually a good kick in the end. Goes back to Holmes and now Stengel from 55. Drills a short little ball to probably one of the players of the match tonight, Gary Rowan. If he kicks this one, I'm giving him the 3 votes.
Oh, I think he deserves it anyway.
You think he deserves it?
Yeah, I think he does.
He's been pretty massive.
Yeah.
I think he's been the match winner. I mean, you would have been forgiven him for what happened earlier in the match. Accidentally giving the shoulder off to Jeremy Cameron. He's currently in hospital. All the best wishes for him. But Gary Rowan now, he comes in, kicks towards goal. He's hooked. He just kicked it across the face, and Max Gawn slapped it out of bounds. So if you had to give the 3 votes right now, who would you be giving it to?
Rowan 3, Duncan 2, and I think Tom Atkins 1.
Yeah, I'd probably agree with you, to be honest. Yeah. Tom Atkins has been massive on Christian Petrarca tonight.
But I think Blitzar's game's been pretty good as well.
Yeah, he's
19 disposals.
Good in the right, good in the midfield. Little tap down there from Gawn. Brayshaw with the clearing kick. Gets out to Petty. Probably was held. Play onto the call. Now Stewart. Wheels around on the right boot eventually and kicks a long ball towards the top of the goal square. Max Gawn takes the mark though. So as the time ticks down, Geelong keep their season alive and a 1 win outside the 8. If they win a couple more games down here in the category, they very well could be pushing for a late charge towards the 2023 finals. So final scores, Geelong win 11-12-78, win by that 15 points, 8-15-63 to Melbourne.
Yeah.
So as we said, with the 3 votes, you've given, I agree with you, 3 votes to Gary Rowan. He was massive with the 3 goals, was defensive pressure, a couple of holding the ball decisions went his way. He also got 2 goal assists, which I think is a very underrated statistic. Mitch Duncan was massive off halfback and also kicked a clutch goal in that last quarter. And then you still
I think Tom Atkins. I think his selfless role on Petrarca was pretty good for most of the game.
Yeah, he sat on. I mean, in that third quarter, when I don't think Tom Atkins sat with him very much in that third quarter.
Yeah.
But he went back to him in the last quarter, and I mean, I know Christian Petrarca kicked the goal, but I think he was massive on him tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, if you look at the statistics, you see 33 disposals. You think that Christian Petrarca had a massive night, and I think he was pretty good. But I think that the influence he can have on games, Christian Petrarca was definitely lost at stages, and I think Tom Atkins was really good.
Yeah.
But anyway, guys, that will be all for the stream today. Tomorrow's night's game is Brisbane versus St Kilda. I may well actually do that one because that looks like a good game as well. But yeah, thanks for watching today, guys. That's all from us. So we'll catch us all later.
See you later, guys.